Hey, how you doing? This is SEIJIHITO here to bring you another live stream. It is currently 6:17 p.m. March 29th, 2025 on this Saturday afternoon slash evening. So I got a few clips, videos, whatnot to go directly over. And the very first one that you see directly in front of you is this black man with locks sitting in his car filming a video stating that Trump is for Black Americans. Now, again, this is something that I've heard pretty often, quite a few times. So we're going to take a listen and see what this Black American man has to say. Yo, what is up, DC? What is up? What is up? What is up?
Y'all do know we have a different government party, right? This party isn't like the last party. Y'all do know that this party is for the Black Americans and against immigrants, right? Y'all do know that this party understands that the Black American is the indigenous of this country, right? Those were the people that treated us wrong and treated y'all good. Now guess who's in office? The people that's treating us good and gonna treat y'all bad. That's why he's sending y'all home. That's why he's letting y'all know y'all not citizens by birthright. He's letting people know that the only birthright citizenship is for Black Americans. 14th and 15th Amendment is only for the descendants of slaves. So the slaves that were here were actually the prisoners of war that were already here in America. So Trump is basically telling you guys that the Black Americans are the indigenous of America. He said the Native Americans don't look like the Indians. Y'all ain't even peeping game. Trump is for the Black Americans and against anybody that's not a citizen. Because he's for the American citizen. He understands that we are the true Americans. So he's for everybody that is true Americans, and he's against any immigrant. Y'all need to know that TikTok is being watched by the government. Reason why y'all don't like him, because y'all watch that news that they put out all this bull crap about him and make y'all think he's racist. As the president, he stands up and say the 14th and 15th Amendment was only supposed to be for the descendants of slaves and not for immigrants. Tell me a racist president that would have said that. Want me to tell you a racist president that would have said that? All the rest of the presidents that didn't say it.
You know, I like when people piece stuff together, right? Because the things that he stated have been stated. The funniest thing is, some of those things that were stated were by way of other people before Trump said it. And specifically, there were two white women that specifically stated those things. What was the one white woman name? I think her name. I said his. Her name is what, Ann Coulter or something like that. She was one of the main ones that I heard saying that exact same thing. Like, hey, these amendments here, this had nothing to do with any immigrants or whatever. This specifically had to do with Black people that went through slavery in the United States and yada. She was the main one before a lot of these other white folks directly out here. She was one of the main ones. And again, that's not a person that I'm trying to pedestalize or put some type of a good light. But like I said, she was one of the main ones that said it. A lot of the things that happen to hear Trump state, I've heard other white people state that before him. But because a lot of people, I guess, didn't want to listen, pay attention to, weren't privy to, they didn't want to take a look at those white people because they were saying something opposite of what it is that they wanted to believe. Right. But now when their selected person is now in office, a lot of people are like, hey, Trump sat up there and said he loves Black people. He wants to sit up there and free the slaves. He wants, Black people to, see who it is that they really are. That's cool. That's great and all. But where at any point in time do you see the Trump administration giving Black Americans the land that was originally stolen from them, the towns and the cities and everything like that? When are they going to return that land that was stolen by way of white people, a white government, a racist government, a racist society? When is that administration going to return all of that wealth and all of that land directly over to the Black Americans? You know what a whole bunch of white people are going to say? Oh, well, that was in the past. Nobody alive today who was even a part of those administrations or those governments and all those atrocities that happened, nobody's alive today. And what are we going to do with that? Like, what if you got brand new great, white people there that are living there that aren't racist and that aren't this, that aren't that, are they supposed to just give up their land and just give it back to the blacks because somebody else who they had no dealings with, that don't even know about, stole it directly from them? That doesn't make any type of sense. How would the world be if we did that all over the planet? Right? That's how white people want to sit up there and shift it. It's crazy. It's crazy work. Like I said, people want to give a lot of credit where credit is not needed, because in order for people to receive a certain type of credit, you need to perform certain types of actions. It's great that some nice words here and there are being stated. That's cool. Anybody can sit up there and do that, right? Even at points in times, you'll hear people of the white hooded society happen to say a little bit of truth every now and again, even though it's against their doctrine. They'll have to, hey, those blacks over there, I don't want to admit it, but da 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 da, right? Even they'll sit up there and say something, but what does that then mean? Nothing. You just got, some little bit of niceties from your opposition, and we're waiting for actual movement. We're waiting for actual action. Like, it's crazy to me to see people so hyped up. It's like, yeah, Trump is for the blacks. Okay, so tell Trump's administration to return the land that was stolen from your family. I'll wait. You're not going to do that, though. You're not going to go to that white administration. You're not going to go to that white president. You're not going to go to the mayors of your towns and cities and tell them that you need to give back the land that was stolen, that rightfully belongs to your people. You're not going to do that. So what are we talking about? What's the use of posturing and getting hyped online? Like what are we doing? like, what are we really doing? What are we really doing? That's some crazy work. That is some crazy work. What was that? Somebody said it was never ours either. Technically, we're not going off of a technicality. We're going off of the fact that there were people already here before Europeans even stepped foot. When you look at the definition of America, of American, it clearly states, firstly, copper-colored people. Last time I seen Native Americans, which is recently, looking all over social media, I'm not seeing any of them that reflect copper color. Matter of fact, like I said before, people of the Navajo tribes, certain tribes here in the United States, they're getting deported. Suspicious. Why would ICE go after Native Americans? Quite suspicious. But you want to sit up there and say that it's technically not our land either. What? So this was just like a barren area. Barren, right? It's like, when people just pull up here and just start saying stuff in the comment section, it's the most craziest thing. This is why I tell people you should actually look up the definitions. The same books that I got is the same books that anybody else can have and get directly off of Amazon or whatnot or whatever. Or you can look up the definitions yourself. Copper colored, Aboriginal, Indigenous. That is not reflective of any of the Native Americans that I've seen in 2025 at all. Matter of fact, just to even put this into a greater perspective, out of all of the times that I've ever been in public schools, to my knowledge, I have never, ever went to school with a Native American. Just let that sink in. So let that sink in. Matter of fact, if I were to ask any of my other black friends, I'm pretty sure that they would say the exact same thing as well. Like, I've went to school with people who are Asian. I've went to school with some people that might have been from Russia or the Ukraine, people from Mexico, South America, people that's from Canada, Africa, foreign exchange students. But out of this whole planet of people that I've ever went to school with, I never went to school with a Native American. I even went to school with Indians. Somebody got to make that make sense to me. Somebody has to make that make sense. Right? Because the Native Americans that we know at this moment in time are supposed to be the face of the United States, technically, right? Because this is their land. I ain't never seen them. Just saying. I'm just gonna put that out there. Just gonna, directly, put that out there. But anyways, like I said, and at the end of the day, I don't have a dog on either side at all, because they're both villains. One is just going to be nice, Democrats, and the other one is going to be more outspoken, Republicans. That's it. They're both getting the exact same money. Just because one, if you vote Democrat, you think that they're getting different money than Republicans? and it's a different color. And if you vote Republican, you think that they're getting different money and you're getting different money because you voted on the Republican. Like, what are we doing? They're both taking the exact same money of the exact same color, printed on the exact same fabric or whatever it is. But like I said, people are so amped because they think that, oh, this person has a little bit of my ideas. Like, this is my God today. Crazy work. It's 100% crazy work out here. Mm, mm, mm. Matter of fact, that's another good point that D said. Yeah, I've never even seen any Native Americans even own anything in the black community. I've seen everything from Jewish folks. You might have a little small minority of Irish folks out there. You might have some Mexicans, Korean, Chinese, all these other groups directly out there, even Indians. You have all of these other ethnicities directly out there, but in black communities, I don't see Native Americans owning nothing. And I'm like, that's weird to me. So you got all of these people from all over the world that are clearly immigrants coming to the black community owning something there, right? And this is the main thing that we complain about. The only group of people I've never seen do this at all are Native Americans. Why is that? Somebody got to explain that to me. How is it possible that other people from a whole nother country, a whole nother nation, whole nother whatever, can come directly over here and basically have things in the black community before Native Americans? And Native Americans, quote unquote, been here longer than anybody else, are the indigenous aboriginals, as a lot of people say. Like I said, I'm trying to look for footprints. I'm trying to look for some footprints directly out here, and I am not seeing them. It's gone missing like Loch Ness and Bigfoot. Like, I don't know where they at. That's crazy. But like I said, it is what it is. You know, whatever God people choose to worship, I hope you stand by that God, no matter if they're wrong or right, no matter how anything falls. I hope people don't decide to run, because that's usually what people decide to do once they lose faith in said God. But let's continue.
To talk to Rodney Taylor.
I'm a people person, so I love dealing with people, meeting people every day, making them look good.
We met Rodney trying to help people who sit in his chair through a program where barbers talk to clients about lung cancer screenings. Rodney told us making those connections comes easy.
Once they feel comfortable within their surroundings and know what type of person you are, they feel more comfortable to open up to you.
It's what's happening to him now that he says is so hard to connect. Rodney!
Hey.
Oh my gosh, we finally connected. He was arrested by ICE and is now not behind his chair, but behind bars.
How'd you get locked up?
It's a life-death situation.
To understand, we have to go back to 1980 when Rodney's mother brought him to the U.S. from Liberia. He was 2. Born with clubbed hands and feet, she brought Rodney here for amputation surgeries under a medical visa. He's lived here ever since, but his applications for citizenship have been denied.
I feel like I'm at my wit's end. You know, I rely on prayer.
That's because Rodney pled guilty to felony burglary charges when he was 16. 16 years later, the Georgia Parole Board pardoned that conviction. But the crime makes him ineligible for amnesty programs for minors. ICE officers cite the burglary case on his detention order now.
They're still trying to prosecute me for something I did 30 years ago as a child. It's hard to swallow.
ICE data shows that includes immigrants with criminal records, but also a 221% increase in immigrants without criminal records. Behind bars, Rodney is trying to stay positive, helping other detainees get ready for their court dates.
They allow me to know to cut hair and do what I do, pass the time.
He's hoping to get back behind the chair for good.
As long as I feel like I'm helping somebody, I feel good.
Reporting in Tucker, Caitlin Ross, 11 Alive News.
So let me get this straight. Right now, when I just so happen to look at this, bro, I'm like, that's the black man right there, right? He got the he reminded me of the nose wise. He reminded me of JJ's, father, right? Off of Good Times. And I'm looking and I'm listening to the story. I'm like, yo, ICE got you. I'm like, hold on, that's a little bit weird. Like, how would that? And then they were like, oh, he's from Liberia. Oh, so you originally are an immigrant, and your mom brought you here on you know, the fact that you needed surgery. So she was trying to do a positive thing because I guess over there, where y'all from, they didn't really have the doctors or the medical facilities to do the things that need to do, specifically be done. And then from there on, for whatever reason, you didn't, really get the citizenship, or the things, didn't really transpire the way that they were supposed to transpire. But then somehow, some way, you fell into the loop of, I'm going to decide to commit a crime for whatever reason. Again, your mom brought you over here for surgery, and also more than likely a better life, right? So that you could actually survive and do something good. You decided at a young age that, I'm about to sit up there and be trying to rip and run through the streets like some other folks directly out here. Whew, that's some diabolical work, knowing that you're not from here, putting everything at risk. But this is what happens when a lot of people think that they actually fit in or they match in. They think that they can do anything else that they see other people do. They don't decide to act as a guest. And this is not me advocating for other people to go out there and do crimes. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you know that you are a guest in somebody else's residence, you need to have all the respect possible, because the protections that are allotted to those people who are the owners, or who have actual skin here, is not going to be allotted to you. They don't have to jump through those same loops and hoops that you got to sit up there and jump through with the government. The government recognizes them. So for Black Americans, the government, no matter how they want to cut it, they have to recognize us because of the history. When it deals with you, they don't have to recognize you for nothing. But like I said, a lot of people want to come here and they feel that they can just do whatever it is that they want to do. So now your past has caught up with you. Now, because of the fact that, you came over here, people didn't get the necessary paperwork that they needed to, things didn't get sorted out due to the fact that you decided that you want to go for this long stint of time. And at a certain point of age, you wanted to commit a crime. Then after that, you was like, let me sit up there and change my life around. Let me actually, do something, good. And what this is why I happen to tell people, like, in a lot of instances, when it deals with people who want to rip and run through the streets, the past will always end up being your present and or your future. Whoever was in those streets, whoever was, directly there with you, the past is going to sit up there and catch up with you one way or another. And that's directly what happened to this man who was an immigrant. He has a barbershop. He has, some great things happening, but it be like that. And I promise you, somewhere, somehow, somebody online is trying to state that, we got this this Black American man. ICE sat up there. He's detained, and they're trying to deport him to this, that. No. He is an immigrant. He is from Liberia. We know exactly where he is from and where his mother is from. That is the end directly of, and his father's more than likely from there too. Ain't nothing about him Black American. The only thing that's Black American is probably the way that he styles and dresses and cuts hair, because he's probably not cutting hair the same way that they do over there in Liberia. I can promise you that. I can promise you that. The same conversation they have in those barbershops here, they're not having those back over there in his home. So, like I said before, it sucks that things like this happen, but it be like that. Like I said, I don't know what people specifically expect. I need people, again, to get their paperwork directly in order. This is why I kept trying to tell a lot of people who are immigrants, like, don't be so slick and sly and trying to throw jabs at Black Americans, because, your past is going to catch up with you. And a lot of people are seeing what it is that they voted for. They're seeing their past. It don't matter if they did something when they were 20, or if they just don't have the paperwork and they decided to be here for 20 to 30 years and they thought they were going to live scot-free and nothing was going to catch up to them. Somehow, some way, you need to just roll back and sit down and sit quiet. Be invisible. Just like the same way you came to this country, the same way you need to sit up and act invisible. But like I said, a lot of people feel like, we're better than Black Americans. We're more educated. We're getting more money. We got 2-parent households. Look at how we raise our kids differently. All right, now you're going to be raising your kids differently back home. Now what? Everything that you ran from, now you got to go right back to. All of those sacrifices that you made, gone. That house that you just got, gone. The education that you got, more than likely, it's not going to matter over there back home. Well. And chances are very great that your kids won't be able to speak that language either. Diabolical work. That's crazy. But like I said, for a lot of people, that's not American, you need to roll back and you need to calm down on how it is that you address and talk to Black Americans. Y'all need to be talking way nicer. Because if y'all actually did, if y'all actually respected us, then maybe y'all might actually see a little bit of motion, a little bit of waves when it deals with the deportation and how the immigrants are getting treated. You might actually have Black Americans, a portion of us coming out there and actually standing up and saying something. But because we've had to take so much disrespect within our own communities by allowing you into our homes, you got the gas stations, you got the beauty shops, the nail salons, right? You got the Chinese stores and all these other restaurants there that are not Black American, and y'all be there and y'all want to talk smart and y'all want to call the police and y'all want to talk to us a certain type of way, address us, call us out. This is why we don't care. We do not care at all. We're watching everything burn. Just like a lot of people like to say that, oh, Black people, they don't contribute nothing. They don't do nothing. Y'all right. So we're not going to contribute any type of energy to when it is that any of y'all get deported. We ain't going to say nothing. We're not going to vocalize or socialize on social media. We're not going to be trying to bring any type of awareness. Now, again, you'll have some others directly out there that decide to do it. That's cool. They can go out there and do that. They want to keep dealing with the disrespect, the microaggressions and all this other type of stuff from these other communities. Go ahead. While you're still trying to, uphold a certain type of thing because you want to turn 99 different cheeks when you only got 2, if not 4, if we're just being honest. But like I said, whatever. Y'all got it. Let's continue.
Speak English. Maybe understand it.
We do. You understand that? You got it.
Yeah.
You speak Spanish. We both speak Spanish.
Get the country. This ain't your country. This ain't your country. Yeah.
Miren, gente. Persona, venimos trabajando y esta persona nomás porque hablamos español dice que tenemos que hablar inglés. Cuando nosotros hablamos el inglés y el español y ellos así.
Come at me all.
She called him a bunch of and stuff and initiated this. I saw it.
Thank you.
My daughter live here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is the moment in time where I'm going to just clearly state that I feel like this security guard should have just called ICE. There's no reason for you to sit up there and argue. There's no reason for you to have a back and forth and a conversation. I saw a lot of people online wanting to state that the security guard was in the wrong. I want to give a shout out to the few Black women out here that when they happen to see something, they say something. And let me see if I can roll back to that Black woman there, because out of all the people that's probably actually watching and saw everything that took place, she was the only one that decided to basically speak up, because those 2 immigrants, and no, it was a male and a female, right? And I, like I told you guys before, they like to categorize themselves as white. Again, I've done live streams and videos going over all of this, so I'm not about to debate with your God, who, and I'm pretty sure that he's white. Go debate with him and the pale horse that you rode in on, because we ain't going to do that here. So again, these white Hispanics directly out here decided that they wanted to specifically go at this Black security guard. They wanted to antagonize and say a variety of things. And now they wanted to click on the camera when he started saying something, or basically giving them the ammunition that they needed. Because what they're trying to showcase here, these immigrants, they're trying to showcase like, oh, look at these Black people. They're being xenophobic and racist towards us Mexicans or Spanish speaking people because we speak Spanish and all this other type of stuff. And then she was like, oh, but we're bilingual and all this other type of stuff. Why don't you learn Spanish? Let me just be very frank with anybody here who is Spanish speaking at this moment in time, able to hear my voice. Let me get real close to the mic. Never at any point in time do you ever sit up there and tell somebody, Black American, go learn a different language. You're in America. You're in the United States of America. We're not in Spain. We're not in Portugal. We're not in Venezuela. We're not in Argentina. We're not in New Mexico. We're not in any of these other places where primarily your language is there. When you are in the United States, you speak English. I don't care how that sounds. I am not about to sit up there and have somebody else that has never been here, that has not even had anywhere close to a history that I have with the United States, try to tell me in my face, try to play in my face and record and try to tell me learn Spanish. What? What? Learn what your other country is doing because you're about to go there. 1-800-ICE. That's what we're doing. 1-800-ICE. That's what we're going to sit up there and do. That's what we're going to sit up there and do. Because this is the type of disrespect, like I said before, that Black Americans happen to get from other nationalities directly out here when it is that we stand up for ourselves, when we speak for ourselves, when we are represented. This Black man is simply just doing his job. Why would you, out of everything that is going on right now during the Trump administration, why would both of you Spanish-speaking individuals decide that you want to antagonize somebody who is just naturally here? Why would you want to do that? Because guess what? If ICE has to show up, who do you think that they're going to decide to detain and deport? Do you think that they're going to go after the Black security guard, or do you think they're going to go for the people with the accent? Guess what? I'm going to put my money on the people with the accent. Look at that. See how that works? But yet, like I said before, y'all voted for this. Y'all voted for this, right? Y'all wanted Trump to be directly in office, and then y'all still want to go out here and act a fool because I will vote for Donald Trump. Y'all really think it's all goody? Oh, that's crazy. That's down about 1-800-ICE. 1-800-ICE. Like, that was crazy. That is 100% crazy. Crazy. What was that? Star G said he's still sleeping. Wake up. Wait, who are you talking about? Who's sleeping? I'm a little bit confused. Like, who's sleeping? You talking about the security guard? I'm a little bit. Yo, what's up, Pink? What is up? What is up? Also, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and everybody that's currently here at this moment in time. But like I said before, I don't care how that sounds. At no point in time, for any Black Americans directly out here hearing my voice, don't ever let anybody that you know has an accent or that's an immigrant disrespect you and tell you that you need to learn another language. Tell them that they need to be proficient in English, because 9 times out of 10 they are not. They are not. Trust me, I've worked with people who are immigrants and they know probably 1% English, and everything else is like in their language, or it's almost some sort of like sign language or what. It's some crazy stuff. Like I said, don't ever allow anybody out here tell you that you need to learn another language when you're in the United States. Don't ever let people do that to you. Don't ever let people do that to you. Now, I will sit up there and say, if you want to have some different jobs and some money, no problem. Right? But again, we're dealing with 2 different cases. Again, don't ever let somebody that you know is an immigrant, somebody with an accent, tell you that you need to learn a different language while you are on your own land, while you are in your own nation. We are not doing that. We are in America. I got to sit up there and go, I forgot who said it, but yeah, we speak American. I got to sit up there and say it like that because that's crazy to me. That is 100% diabolical work. And the funniest thing is, never at a point in time will you ever see these same people decide to tell white folks that they need to learn Spanish while being they would not sit. They know better. They know better than to go against the hand that feeds them. They know better than to go against their God. They're not going to sit up there and do that. But they'll primarily make sure to do stuff like this and film it when it deals with Black Americans, because they want to showcase a certain type of thing. It's like when white people want to say that, the most racist people out here are Black Americans. And I'm still trying to wait. And I done went to school with like white boys. I ain't never heard them sit up there and say that Black people are racist. So again, I'm trying to figure out where these white people that are like, what, 40, 50, 60, I'm trying to figure out where was that racism, because 9 times out of 10, y'all ain't never actually been around nobody Black. And then we got people like this who may, sort of kind of hover around Black people, and they want to try to portray themselves as victims. But I thought Black people were the only victims, right? I thought Black people are the only ones that, internalized or imagined racism, and it doesn't exist. But yet I'm looking at 2 quote unquote victims here, immigrants, victims who are trying to make it seem like the Black man is the white man of society, and they're really trying to hold them back. Yo, this is some crazy work out here. Like I said, I love it though. Shout out to social media. Shout out to social media, because we would not be able to see it if people did not film it. Shout out to the immigrants. You're probably going to get deported at a moment in time because ICE is probably on their way, but thank you for that video. Shout out. Let's continue.
Since there's so many of y'all on here talking about go back to Africa, you should go, blah, 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 I decided to ask ChatGPT, Chat, what would happen if all Black Americans left the U.S. and returned to Africa? And one thing ChatGPT do not do is lie, baby. So this is what ChatGPT said. This is food for thought.
Before she gets talking, I want to say this woman is beautiful. She reminds me of Kim Fields. If you know who Kim Fields is, that's from Living Single. I know a lot of y'all probably ain't privy on that because a lot of y'all probably ain't watch Black shows like that. But yeah. She reminds me of Kim Fields. Just saying. Gotta keep going.
For everybody who's saying go back to Africa. So first, Black Americans make up 14% of the U.S. population and contribute significantly to healthcare, education, sports, entertainment, government. And a sudden departure would create significant labor shortages. That's one. Two, Black Americans contribute over $1.7 trillion annually to the U.S. economy. A departure like that would create a sudden loss of economic power. 3, Black-owned businesses which employ millions of Americans would shut down or relocate, shifting the wealth to whatever country all of us went to. Number 4. Now this one gonna really piss you off. This one gonna piss you off. Loss of cultural influence. Black Americans, and I quote, Black Americans have shaped U.S. culture through jazz, hip-hop, and blues, fashion, language, and sports. Their departure would significantly alter America's cultural identity. Of course, we know that there will be a shift in elections, particularly for the Democratic Party. There won't be a need for NAACP and Black Lives Matter. But here's where it gets good again. A decline in innovation. Blacks foster creativity and innovation. The loss of racial diversity could slow technological advances. See, y'all ancestors ain't tell y'all how sick y'all was. See, y'all before y'all found us, y'all was fighting each other. See, ain't nobody passed that information on to y'all. Y'all don't know about all that. See, our people passed information on. Y'all people didn't. Y'all wanted to be lost in translation, but we know.
And that's facts. I just want to state the main part that she brought up. She stated that before us, white people were out here being savages. They were going after themselves, taking themselves out a multitude of ways by war, famine, disease, whatnot, or whatever. And a great distraction had to occur in order to stop this from happening, in order to stop these groups of people from doing that, right? And guess what that distraction was? Black people. The main reason that you don't see white people online going tooth and nail, back and forth, real heavy online and saying the stuff that they would normally say. Like if you look at some threads when they deal with, like, let's say like Russia, like some places over there in Europe, like, yo, they be going at it with each other. Because guess what? There is no distraction. There's nothing in the way to stop them from basically seeing one another, right? That dislike. So they can just go directly at it. In America, you have a variety of distractions. And the one thing that people don't just so happen to bring up is the fact that we have a lot of these distractions in order to keep the main majority stable. Because if they're not stable, they're going to war. They're going to fight with themselves the same way that they've always done historically. And it's like, that's crazy to me when you know the fact that, hey, these people are like, we need to get rid of the blacks. They don't contribute. They don't do anything. And as I stated before, the only time white people really started saying this was during the fact of slavery not being here, not happening. They can't really just pull money from out of thin air by having, 900 Negroes on a plantation picking cotton or doing this or doing that. right? They can't have their free will and their way and all of their freaky natures, on these plantations like they were before. So because they can't do that, it's like, all right, no problem. Now you guys are lazy. You guys are out here amongst us. Oh no, you're lazy. You don't contribute. You don't do anything. You're not paying any taxes. You're not building anything. You don't have any ownership. It's crazy to say that to a group of people that you literally stole everything from, that they don't contribute, they don't have they don't have any ownership, no type of. That's because you stole it. We literally had at one point in time a nice little bank, and you know what ended up happening? You guys took the money directly from that black bank. Look at that. Look at that. You were sitting up there spending that money left and right on frivolous things, on things that had nothing to do with that black community at all. You just treated it as a big piggy bank that you can just dibble and dabble and go directly into. But y'all don't want to talk about that and teach that directly in the high schools. Y'all don't want to put that directly in the history books or anything. Y'all don't want to do that. But y'all always want to talk about the now on, look at what these blacks are doing. They don't have any money. They don't know how to save. They don't know anything about finances. All their money is like, water going through their hands like sand. Right? But you don't want to go into what contributed to that in that mentality. We spend all of our money up because we're like, somehow, some way, they're going to come through and they're going to just try to snatch it up and take it. So let me just do what I want to do with it right now. Because we don't really got no time to save. Because if we look historically at everything that has happened, hey, you can't sit up there and get mad at a group of people that always want to throw their money directly out the window because they don't want the greatest robbers on the planet to come through and just steal it and claim it as theirs. And then on top of that, put you directly out of your house and claim your house as your land, as theirs, and then say that, you're a vagrant. What are you doing in this neighborhood? This is not your land. This is not your home. This is mine. He was in my house trying to steal my money. Word, sir, it was just like a day or two ago. I actually had this house before magically the bank decided that they wanted to take it. Y'all wanted to pull some eminent domain. I was actually growing cabbage in my backyard, which is the same cabbage that's right there that you're now selling at the local market. So I'm like, you make it hand over fist, but yet you want to turn around and call black people poor and say that they don't have this and have that, but yet you have everything because you stole it. But y'all don't want to talk about that, though. It's crazy. That's some crazy work. The laziest people on this planet calling other people lazy. Just imagine that. Imagine the type of mental gymnastics, the type of mental working that it would take to do that. And then to say it long enough to the point where you believe it. And then you write things like that in history. That is crazy. And then not just that, you got other people believe it. Brother, that's crazy. That is crazy. Let me see. Hold on. Wait a minute. We got Gail up in here. What is up there, Gail? What is going on? Somebody tried to say that Gail is practicing division. No, not my second wife. No, Gail would never do anything like that. She would never practice division. This woman is from down south. That is country right there, homegrown. Gail does not have a divisive bone in her body. Now, we can be prejudiced directly out here, and rightfully so, dealing with the historical facts. If we're going to go that way, who was that wanted to call Gail say that she was divisive? That sounds like some white talk right there. That's some crazy work. That guy historically, just asking, for a friend, what has the United States government stolen directly from black Americans historically over time? Just ask him. And I'm not trying to hear we're talking about the past, and we don't even have to talk about the past. We can even still talk about recently, because I've done stories recently, one of which ended up dealing with California, where land, a hotel and a beachfront was stolen from a black family by way of the white government in California, and also the United States government, because of course they allow these things. And now, that black family is trying to fight for that hotel and that beachfront property. Because remember, during those times, everything was segregated. So when I say black beachfront, that's what it was, because segregation, again, something that black people didn't create. Because in our minds, we never looked at white people as like, oh, we want to segregate from you. We were like, okay, well, we can both share the land, we can both be even, and yada yada. White people don't believe in even. That's just facts. That's just facts. Like I said, let's look at a lot of European wars. White people don't believe in even, historically, factually speaking. So yeah. So again, I'm just gonna try to be trying to be nice here, because Gail will pack you up one way or another. So if you want to be directly in, directly in this chat, you might want to sit up there and fix your mouth real quick. It's crazy work. You talking about God bless you, brother. I hope you find peace and you better take that Caesar Bogara, whatever that dude's name is. You better take that somewhere else. We're not sitting up there. I'm not dealing with thieves. Like I don't know what you're sitting up there talking about. Like I said, you're more than likely the ones that still are up there with the church. Some of the other greatest thieves directly out here, along with some of the greatest ones who specifically go after those in families. Shout out to the Catholic Church, who ain't never been arrested or caught. So yeah, you can keep that Jesus directly to yourself. Because anytime I happen to look at that Jesus, he don't look reflective of me, so I don't know who that is. Just to be honest, factually speaking, just saying, because what is written, people want to happen to paint a different picture. What was it? Skin of like bronze, brass, hair of wool. That does not sound reflective of anybody white. But here we go. I go to a church. Guess what I see? White Jesus. So yeah, y'all can keep that. And then on top of that, if Jesus is black, so you mean to tell me that a white woman gave birth to a black bitch? Come on now. Come on, let's not play games. Let's not play games. I thought, like I said, people supposed to be following the word, but when people don't like the word, they always want to rewrite something, or they want to, hide it away, or don't want to specifically teach it, or instead of people focusing on the word, they want to paint pictures, because they say pictures are worth 1,000 words or whatnot or whatever. Like I said, it's crazy work. Diabolical. Crazy work out here. Sauce said, let them tell it. They didn't steal anything. They liberated it in the name of Christianity. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. Diabolical work. Sharon Fitness said, I saw it on the news, right? That is facts. Patrick said, it's horrible that, I can already tell how this is going to go. Let me see. You said it's horrible that slavery happened, but most of the world wasn't. Why do y'all come through here every single time? This is every single time somebody on a black platform starts talking about slavery or things that happen specifically to them. You always, why don't y'all ever say this to the Jewish community? Why don't y'all ever say that, the Holocaust was a very terrible thing, but every nation directly out here had their own form of a Holocaust? Y'all never try to do that. Why is that? Why do y'all not ever try to come in on the corner of the Holocaust when it deals with the Jewish community? Why y'all never do that? White people, why y'all never do that? Why don't y'all ever go to the Jewish community and say that y'all had your own Holocaust too in your own countries or historically? Why don't y'all ever do that? But y'all don't. I wonder why that is. Why are you so scared? Why are you so afraid? Guess what? Over there in Africa, they had a Holocaust over there as well too. Millions of people, millions of Africans ceased to exist during that Holocaust. But guess what? Do you happen to hear, people talking about it? Nope. Do you happen to hear people, trying to really squeeze that directly in there whenever it's about the Jewish folks out there remembering their people of the Holocaust? No. They let people have their space. But when it deals with slavery and Black Americans specifically out of this whole planet, for whatever reason, it's always everybody from these other nationalities, especially white people, that want to tell Black folks, oh, we were slaves too. Oh, so you were victims? That's what you're... No, we're not doing this. So white people, I need you to pick a line. I need you to sit up there and pick a line. Because at one moment you're the masters of the universe, and then when other people who historically went through something want to highlight it, you want to take yourself out of that quote unquote God position, that masters of the universe, He-Man position, and now you want to be victims. Which one is it? Which one is it? We're not doing this cake and eat it too, because y'all been doing this for centuries, eons. We're not doing this. I need you to sit up there and pick a line. Because whenever we, including Black Americans here in the United States, whenever we start talking about the government, then here y'all come, we're all suffering from the government. This government is really getting us all. We need not to sit up there and be divisive. We need to sit up there and come together as American people. We all bleed. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. You voted for this government. You built this government. Your family is in this government. Your people who are in the military and the police and private forces directly out here protect the government and these corporations. We are not the same. I don't care how destitute, broke you are as a white person out here strung out on whatever it is that the government is feeding you. We are not the same. You do everything by choice. If you are white and strung out, you did it by choice. If you are white and an alcoholic, you did it by choice. They didn't decide to just drop all of this in your community and try to, break that apart. No, why would they do that to themselves? That doesn't make any sense. But they're going to make sure to do it to other people that they find as problematic. A group of people that they don't want to actually progress and move forward, to heighten their mental. They don't want them to stabilize so that they can actually be competitive. Because guess what? In society, you guys are not competitive. You guys are about taking the shortest way directly there. Hook or crook, cheating or tripping or whatever it is. You will sit up there and do the Nancy Kerrigan and start breaking legs directly out here like the Irish mafia in order to get things done, because you don't know how to actually fight or play fair. You know everything about war, biological and chemical warfare. That's what you know. That is what you know. So like I said, we are not the same. I don't care what y'all got to sit up to say about Jesus, what y'all got to say about these governments, what y'all got to say about slavery. We are not the same. I do not care if the Scottish or the Irish were slaves. That is a white European personal problem. Y'all need to go to those governments or the American government and hash that out with them. Stop bringing that directly to black folks on black platforms, because we ain't trying to hear it. We don't got time for it. We do not got time for it. Like I said, the same energy that y'all been sitting up there giving to black folks for centuries, y'all about to sit up there and get that exact same energy. Y'all are not going to sit up there and like it. Oh boy, you're not going to sit up there and like it, because it's going to be a major reflection. It's going to be a major mirror that, again, you have not been taught how to face yourselves. You have not been taught how to look internally and deal with what is broken. Y'all are so broken that you feel that everybody else is broken because you're internally broken. That's some crazy work. And the other crazy work is that no matter what hardships that black Americans have ever had to face in the United States, we are still whole in some type of way, fashion, or form. We are still here. We are still managing. And then we're watching everybody else lose their minds, and they're crashing and burning all over the place. Even the people that built this country, even the people that voted directly for this. Nobody sees a problem. Again, we are different. We are clear cut, 100% different. And I still to this day don't understand why y'all don't see it. For the longest time possible, y'all done sat up there and told us what? Oh, we're different from the blacks directly over there. Oh, your cranium, your IQ, you're this, you're that. But then at the same time, when things are falling apart, oh, blacks, you guys got to stop being so divisive. Leave the past in the past. Blacks, stop thinking that you're slaves. Get off the plantation. We're all the same people. No, we're not. Because we for sure do not vote the same. We for sure don't live in the same communities. We for sure don't see the world the same way or have the same experiences. So where we coming from? What we doing? What we actually talking about? Nothing. I'm pretty sure I missed a whole bunch of comments directly in here. Yeah, like D Money said, Gail, we'll pack y'all up real quick. Let me see. What else we got up here? The same people that took Christianity to the land had the Christians. Tony said the Algerians never ever get brought up either. The Turks massacred them, and the Holocaust was named after what happened to them. Waba said, we ain't baiting nothing. The truth is always the truth. How is it offensive when we tell the truth? O'Rourke said, "Stop whining." Well, cut off the sound to further help you up. Hit the block button directly underneath the video in the live stream. Hit the thumbs down and exit directly off my platform. That's how you do that. For anybody else. For anybody else that want to be smart and they want to, act like this, y'all can happily see the door either by way of one of my moderators or myself. If I happen to sit up there and see you or catch you, the only reason that he's even up here, you can see his name, is because I wanted to use him as a prime example for what stupid looks like. So again, I'm not like any of these other people directly on YouTube. I will tell you directly about yourself, me or my moderators or some of the other people here. And you'll be directly up out of here. You'll be in the shadow realm. You'll be in the Bermuda Triangle. You'll be in the limbo, the 7 realms of hell. Whichever one you prefer, you will be directly there to never be seen or heard from again up until you make another Google account and decide to come right back here and show how stupid you are to me again. Just so that we're clear. All right. It's crazy work, though. Crazy work. What else we got directly up here? Mega said exactly. We got JV said, everyone double tap the screen and like the video. That's bars. You need to double tap that. If you at least showed up here for like 5 seconds, hit that like button. I don't even care if you're a hater. Hit that button. Hit that button. Somebody said, Russell was like, what's your thought on the white farmers in Africa having issues with Zimbabwe begging them to come back? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care with anybody of Dutch European heritage down there in South Africa, of which a continent that they did not originate at. I don't care what problems that they are specifically having. I get tired of hearing Europeans talk about how great they are, how godly they are, but yet they go all across the world causing famine, causing wars, chemical warfare. It's destruction and chaos all over the place, no matter where you step. And then for whatever reason, I, as a Black American, I'm realistically supposed to care if something is happening. Look at what you've done historically, and now you got to pay for your father's sins. Whatever your fathers and grandfathers did to those African people down there, stole their land, pillaged, did whatever. Now, guess what? Your children have to sit up there and face up. They got to pay the toll because your father wasn't blessed enough by God to live long enough so that he would be the one to pay the price, to pay the toll. So now you got to. Now those Europeans down there in South Africa have to sit up there and pay the price. They got to pay the piper. That's all it is. What do you want me to sit up there and say? Do you want me to sit up there and say, oh, that's no, I don't care. I don't care. Let me make it even more obvious. I don't care. Do you think that any of the South Africans care about historically what's happened to Black Americans in the United States? They don't. They mind their business. They had the apartheid for a reason. They had all of these laws from 1911 on through 70 something. And then a lot of this got eradicated in the early 90s, which again is not that long ago. So you still got people from the 90s that have residuals of the apartheid, of all of the atrocities and things that went on there. And I'm supposed to sit up there and care what is happening to the South African whites, the farmers, on land of which that is not theirs, that they did not originate, that they are not indigenous, that they decided to bring themselves to from Europe because they could not deal with what was going on in Daddy Europe. So they wanted to run from Daddy and go to somewhere else where they can just do whatever it is that they wanted to sit up there and do without any rules or regulations. They wanted to emancipate themselves from their own nation. So once you did that and you're there, you wanted to commit all of these acts and atrocities that you couldn't do up there in Daddy's home. So you ran away so that you can do it somewhere else so that you wouldn't have to abide by those laws, rules, or the regulations. You can run yourselves. And now you got to pay the price for the history and the atrocities that you've committed. I don't care. I do not care. I don't care. Don't care. What's your name directly up here? Cyndia, you look awfully pasty. Champ, you look awfully pasty. I think the son needs to have a conversation with you. I think that's realistically what needs to happen. I need you for at least 8 hours of the day to go out there with any SPF and sit out there in about 70 to 80 degree, preferably 70 to 80 degree weather. I need you to go out there and sunbathe and come back and have a conversation with me in about a good year, if you make it. That's what I need you to do, right? Go talk to God real quick. Go talk to God out there real quick. Go sit up there and stare and do all that prayer that y'all like to sit up and let me know in a year how that works out for you. Remember, no cheating. No cheating. I need you to use no SPF. Don't do that. Go out there and be the God that you guys always say that you are. And while you're sitting up there doing that, you're getting banned directly to the nether realm. You're out of here. Who else we got directly up in here? Oh, we got somebody else that said I sound racist. That sounds like a personal problem. Your whole family, your whole history, historically, respectfully speaking, is racist. Your whole DNA, your lineage is completely racist. If I'm to, be respectfully honest. But then if you're saying that I'm racist, it takes one to know one, correct? I would only be able to do this and learn from the greatest. I need people to stop telling on themselves. There's going to be another person directly up out of here. Shadow Realm. Gotcha, buddy. Somebody wanted to say, Seji, you're broken. How am I broken? Because I like to speak my mind, because I want to say things honestly, because I don't want to sugarcoat things to make white people comfortable. Like, where specifically am I actually broken? For you, just in case you're here, I'm not going to sit up there and ban you, because I want to see directly what your response is, because I love the fact, because again, like I said before, it takes somebody to literally be there in order to realize that, like, a drug addict knows another drug addict. An alcoholic knows another alcoholic. A gambler knows another gambler. But you're sitting up there saying I'm a broken person. So as a psychologist that you are, because I'm pretty sure that you're not certified, let me know. Let the world know how it is that I'm broken. And if you want to sit up there and say, oh, because you're divisive, you're always focusing on race. I learned from the greatest. I learned from America. Who rules and controls America? White folks. I'm dealing with the main ones that I can see. I'm not dealing with the sleight of hand and all the other type of stuff, the shadow and everything else that people want to. I'm dealing with the main folks. Who is in office right now? White men. Who's doing it? Trump, the Republicans. Who are the main ones that we know that are running in the military? White men. Who are the main ones that are part of the police force? White men. So like I said before, that's what I deal with. Who else? Oh, we got a lot of people sit up there saying that Seji sounds broken today. That is some diabolical work. Guess what? America's been broken. So if America is a corporation and it's supposed to produce a product, and if the corporation or the business is broken, right? If we're supposed to be making fine china, even though we're not Chinese, right? We're supposed to make fine china, but every single time we make it is cracked or there's some type of fracture in it. What does that then say about the producer and the factory? Because it's crazy to me how people want to say that I'm broken as a Black American, but you don't want to look at who produced this broken Black American, and that's the United States. So if I'm broken, the only way to fix it would be to go back to the factory and figure out, like, yo, why are you producing all of this broken material? This is not good product. You may want to stop the line right here and fix everything internally so that you can actually make good quality china that's not from China, right? But like I said, y'all don't want to focus on that. It's a lot easier to sit up there. Oh, you're Black, you're broken. You don't even know what you're all this other. You don't even want to sit up there and look at the people who created this. Y'all, like I said, y'all don't know how to actually look at yourselves. It's so easy to get y'all divided and fixated on other stuff. This is why y'all got the media. This is why y'all got these great wizards, sorcerers, and storytellers when it deals with mainstream media, when it deals with these psychologists, when it deals with your religion, such as Christianity, Catholicism, and all this other type of stuff, right? Because y'all got all of these sorcerers doing these spells directly on you, and you ain't even actually fixated and focused on what is actually wrong, the actual problem, which is you. But you're right. I'm the one that's broken, though. No problem. No problem. We got these in a row. Got another person like, yo, I hope one day you're not a victim. I hope for one day you're not a, let me just let me just pull back, real quick. I hope for, one day when, your people don't happen to have a racist type of history that can be linked back. I hope for a point in time that your people can actually treat other people out here as a human being and not treat them differently because of the color of their skin. But again, that we would need Dr. Strange for that to happen. But in order to get that to happen, I guess, you would have to really start praying to Satan so that you can get that dark magic happening so that we can open up some portals. But chances are you open up the wrong portal and it will end up looking like the mist out here, because somehow, some way, no matter what y'all mix in or dibble and dabble into, something always goes wrong. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Somebody say you never moved on. What else we got directly up here? Somebody said, please change your doctor. He's lying to you. What doctor? Oh, hold on. Let me get you real quick. Okay, hold on. So okay. So my doctor's lying to me. So you mean just like how the United States government lied to y'all during the pandemic? Oops. You mean like how the World Health Organization lied directly to y'all? Oops. You mean like how the mainstream media lied directly to y'all by way of nurses, hospitals, and doctors? Oops. Look at that. Oh, so who really needs to actually check their doctors and change them? Who needs to sit up there and do that? Because I know I'm not a part of that one. All right, let's keep going though. Shout out to your family though, because some of them probably not gonna make it. Kryptoni said both parties, Democrat and Republican, are anti-black. Bars. JV says, Seji, you have some racist trolls who are butthurt from the truth that you're preaching. Hey, it be like that. It be like that all the time. Like I said, I'm used to it. I am 100% used to it. Like I said, I love it. Draco said, I don't understand the Holocaust analogy. I clearly, went directly through it. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm speaking plain English. I'm pretty sure my pronunciations are completely there. But, like I said before, hey, you don't understand it, you don't hear it, it is directly on you. The Blue Baron said, bro, stop talking tough on the internet. I'm not actually talking tough. I'm actually responding. You don't hear me talking about I'm about to sit up there and pull out, start sliding. You don't hear me saying none of that. You don't hear me say like, yo, I'm about to sit up there and get the Addy real quick and come talk. I'm not saying none of that. The same energy that people give me over the years that I've been doing this is the same energy that I return. And you are, hold on, let me highlight this. This is what I want to clear cut showcase right here. This is how I know that when black people actually get on one chord and they start giving and delivering the same energy that everybody else has given us over time, this is the type of stuff that we're going to get. People are like, yo, man, stop talking tough over the internet. How am I talking tough? Where in any language did I say that I'm about to fight somebody? I'm about to knock them out? Like, where did I do any of that? Like I said, y'all don't even know what's even happening. You're listening to the voice and you're listening to the things that I'm saying, and you don't like the tone and you don't like the things that I'm speaking on. That's the problem. So you want to fixate on that and think that I'm trying to be some type of tough guy. I'm talking about things that people can clearly look up. What are we doing here? But like I said, this is what happens when you have a lot of people that's emotionally imbalanced. This is what that looks like. But yet I'm the one that's talking to. Again, guys, remember, Seji is a fake gangster. He's a fake gang member. He likes to act like he's out in the streets. He got these gang tattoos, acting like he got war wounds. He got all of these stories, acting like he done been through this. And I've never tried to sell any of those wolf tickets. I never tried to sell anybody that bridge at all. But like I said before, have everybody else tell it directly out here. And this is what you just so happen to see. Crazy work though. But I get it. Y'all going to keep saying things in the comment section so that you can get the attention that you desire, because obviously God is not giving it to you. Whoever it is that you believe in and kneel down to, they're not giving it directly to you. Probably your parents didn't give it to you. So this is why you're here talking directly to me in my comment section, looking for me to respond. And I'm going to give you exactly what it is that you want. You're just not going to like how it is that I'm going to say it or direct it to you. And that's a personal problem. Like I said, I would expect like a woman, like a white woman, to roll up here and say something like that. You are probably a grown man, probably older than me. And you talking about stop talking tough. What are you talking about? I don't even know who you are. I don't even know who you are. Mo was like, first class tickets to the Bermuda Triangle are free on this channel. That's bars. And that is the neighborhood sniper, aka the ninja, aka Zangief in the flesh. Mo. If you don't know him, you will, because that'll be probably the last name that you'll see in this conversation before you get ducked and pulled directly up out of here. It's crazy work out here. It's crazy work. What else we got? Immigrants. Somebody said I'm just American. Gail was like, double tap that screen. It's free, and thanks for the views. That is bars. That is straight bars. 100%. What else we got? I'm just trying to go through here. What was it? Somebody said maybe Trump lives, or is that supposed to be Trump loves? Trump loves Black Americans so much he's having them rounded up and put in concentration camps. Out of all the times I have seen people say that I talk crazy and I don't know anything of which that I'm talking about, I need somebody to let me know at any point in time, where has this government put Black in 2025? Where are Black Americans in concentration camps in the United States? Now, I remember I reported back before where I was talking about these Walmarts, these closed up super centers that were getting turned into concentration camps, detainment centers for those who are immigrants, migrants. I remember reporting directly on that. Again, I'm just trying to figure out where are Black Americans getting put into these detainment centers, because I'm clearly Black American. I have yet to see this. We got Black areas in Chicago, Detroit. I have yet to hear anything. We got a whole bunch of Black people up there in New York. I have yet to see anything. So I'm like, I don't know what people be saying out here. I don't know what rocks y'all smoking. Y'all need to drop those. Those need to be outlawed pronto, because y'all on something else past Jupiter. You're not even in the solar system with the stuff you smoking. Like I said before, and somehow, some way, people want to make immigration a Black American problem. That's diabolical work. That's 100% crazy to me. I'm not with that. Like I said, that's a personal problem because people decided to vote how it is that they wanted to vote, knowing the fact that it's going to impact a multitude of lives, including their own. There you go. Crazy work. Let me see. Patricia said, haven't you heard 47 doesn't think we are Americans? Sharon said, that's why they're going through some bull crap right now. Yeah, that's right. A man named Garcia telling us to go somewhere. Yeah, that's crazy. What was it? Edward said, you all would not make it in Africa. Your name is Edward. That's real white. Your name is Edward. You're white Hispanic. So your name is Edward Garcia. You said that we wouldn't make it in Africa. You can't even make it back home. That's why more than likely you're in America. What are we even doing here? Can somebody get ice? Can we get like ice in the comment section? Like, can we do that? Can we just start getting some people real quick? Like, that's crazy to me. Like, that's some diabolical work. Like, how are you going to sit up there and try to tell another group of people that they're not going to make it when all of your people are like runners and track stars? Like, what are we doing here? I've literally showcased videos, done live streams for about quite a few months, some weeks, showcasing all of this nonsense. I will vote for Donald Trump. Edward, you the type of person to sit up there and vote directly for Trump, and then you end up getting half of your family deported, like the rest of them have done. I done shown both sides. I done shown a Latin woman. They sat up there and guess what? I guess voted for Trump, or however it is they decided to do. Trump sat up there and pulled up to the scene, got the husband, deported. And now she's sitting up there as a single parent. Oops. Seen the same thing for an Hispanic restaurant owner, male. Guess what? Voted, agreed directly with Trump. You know what happened to his wife? Deported. ICE came up, pulled up to the scene. Bow, got her. Guess what? Motherless home now. Oops. We got 2 statistics already running about. It was even to the point where you have primarily heavy Hispanic areas where normally it'd be hustle and bustle, everybody just, music and everything going. It was a ghost town because everybody is shook because of ICE, Edward. How about instead of being worried about Black Americans, where they can survive and not survive, and you worry about actually helping out your people and being beneficial, right? How about you not vote against the cause? right? Which is your people running from home because they don't want to be in Mexico or South America, right? Because the money is pretty much low. It's dirt in a lot of these places, right? And they want to come here and live a better life, and they want to try to send money back home and to try to help out, and they want to do the do, right? They want to do all of those great things. How about you actually be beneficial to them? How about you actually be beneficial to your home, right? Because I'm pretty sure, Edward Garcia, since you're here on the internet speaking English, I'm pretty sure that you're making it pretty well at this moment in time. So how about you take all of that money and go back home? How about that? How about you skip to Malu back home? How about you take a boat back home? One-way ticket. You can reach it by airplane. I don't care how you get there. Get there if you can, because you're going to need to get there. You're going to need to get there. It's crazy. It's diabolical. Only reason, if somebody's complaining I haven't like moved on, what was that? Edward Garcia said, "You're black racist by wanting free stuff." What are you talking about, Edward? Your people came over here and they're getting free money from the government. Y'all getting free housing. Y'all getting loans. Y'all getting mortgages. It's almost like the first to the second wave of the Cubans coming directly over for the first time. The government is literally helping y'all out, but you're talking about like, oh, black people just want free stuff. You've been getting free stuff. Don't ever in your life try to sit up there and play, especially on my platform. Don't try to sit up there and come up here and play in my face and try to act like your people aren't coming here getting like $4 grand, 10 grand, 15 grand on EBT, on government assistance. They are literally giving y'all phones and they're literally giving y'all money, debit cards with like hundreds of dollars directly on it. Shout out to New York. Shout out to Chicago and California. Like, what are we even talking about right now? You acting like you came directly over here with your own money. Your own money is worthless. Like, what are we doing here? It's like, we're not going to play these games. You didn't come over with your own money and just sit up there and just start making it. Nah, you had to sit up there and start mixing and mingling with your people that was already here and all the other type, the normal stuff that y'all been doing. You ain't getting nothing from the ground. You ain't getting nothing from the mud. You ain't getting nothing from the dirt. All of this stuff is being handed directly to immigrants. Let's not do this. You looking real stupid out here. You're looking real stupid. Like, that is some crazy stuff. Rodney said, this guy thinks he's smart. I am smart. That's why you're here. If you were smarter than me, you wouldn't be on my platform. You would have created your own, and you would have had people in your comment section, but you don't. So you're here. Thanks. Let's go to the next one. Garcia was like, "You're on government free. What government free stuff am I on? What government stuff? What government free stuff am I on? What, the internet?" I mean, you do realize that Americans do actually pay taxes, right? Your people don't pay taxes, but you do realize that normal American citizens, they always pay taxes one way or another. And we also show our documentation by way of doing taxes, which really we shouldn't be doing, but we do a variety of things directly out here. A lot of y'all are getting stuff that y'all have no skin in the game. You're literally getting, your people are getting 5, 10, 15 grand, free housing, free apartments, hotel stays, all of this stuff. The same things that the Cubans were getting way back in the 50s and 60s. Y'all are getting that right now. And you got the nerve to try to sit up there and say that black people are getting free stuff or on. That's some crazy work. If anything, black people are owed. Black people are literally owed. Again, that's something that's beyond your understanding because you're a runner. So you wouldn't even know what your land actually looks like. That's bars. The sensible comment right there. Look at that. Man said, if you don't like what somebody is saying on their channel, leave. That's bars. 100%. 1000%. Gold star for this person, right? I don't know if it's male or female, but gold star for this person right here. And the reason I said it like that, because I know that certain times women will have different types of names directly up there so that they don't get bombarded by, random online guys. So again, shout out to this person right here. Shout out. Very sensible. Very sensible. Maybe said Nazis are running the country and we aren't going to work together to get rid of them. Yeah. How many blacks voted for Trump? Own it. Huh? Wait. I'm gonna let you speak further. I think wait, hold on. Maybe you're responding to me. Because a lot of black people did not vote for Trump. The main majorities that voted for Trump, it's crazy to me that I got to keep repeating this over and over again since the election is done. The main groupings of people, white people, number one, Hispanics, Asians, Native Americans, right? Last but not least, then you got black Americans down there. We did not really add up to nothing at all. Both male and female really didn't add up to nothing, even though for whatever reason, people are trying to make it seem like yeah, black people really got Trump off. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. If you want to talk about the Biden administration, yeah, black people sat up there and did that. Trump administration, no. It was everybody else. It was other groups directly out there. Even folks on reservations that are currently having issues with ICE at this moment in time. It's crazy work, though. Let me see. Somebody said, no, America hasn't been broken. You just haven't figured out how to adjust it. No, America is broken. I'm talking about the people who are the ruling class that are directly here by way of the police, by way of the government, by way of all of the systems in place. Yes, it is broken. Like, I'm a little bit confused. I'm not lost on this because I know exactly what it is that I'm talking about and saying because I've covered this in enough story. I've even brought story to show you that America's broken. I've literally detailed stories talking about how the police has been jacking up all the communities directly out here. Not even just black people, all the other communities I'm talking about. I did natives. I did people from the Philippines, anybody that is Hispanic, Caucasian, whatever you want to sit up there and call it. I done covered all those groups to show you how broken the system is. But you're talking about you just got to adjust it. Nah, there's no adjusting that brokenness. There's no adjusting that brokenness. That building is not on stable land. America has faltered a great deal of many times. Too many times to count. That's a problem. That's problematic. Just Talking said the USA is a corporation. Yeah, it is. Yep. One said the victim and pity parties are lame. I mean, I guess so. But I guess I could say the same thing whenever I hear white folks in America try to talk about that there's another group of people that are controlling the United States. So which one is it? Are you victims or are you gods? Which one is it? I'm a little bit lost, a little bit concerned, a little bit confused. I keep saying this over and over again. Because I've at no point in time in history have I ever seen white people start really flip-flopping like this. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, y'all don't even know what spot to even sit in right now. Y'all want to be everywhere at the same time. You want to be gods and victims. Like, what's going on? It's like the same thing I sit up there and tell a lot of women out here. It's either you want to be Lois Lane or you want to be Wonder Woman. You ain't about to sit up there and be both. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. You got to sit up there and pick a line. You're not about to be doing this dibble and dabble and having your cake and eat it too. No, we're not doing that. So, same thing I'm sitting up there telling white people. You say you literally just showed a video that black people are 14% of the population, but we can't understand why there are more white people in any area, yet Obama held office. What? Do you even know specifically what it is that you even wrote down at this moment in time? What was it? Maybe said your damage isn't that of blacks in America. Blacks aren't all as hateful as you are. You know, I love it when people want to say that I'm hateful. I love it so much because the funniest thing is at a point in time in life, people would always sit up there and tell me like, yo, Seji, you're actually like, you're too nice. Like, you need to stop being, so nice. Like, yo, people sit up there and take advantage of you being too nice. And now I'm sitting up there looking at comments where people are telling me like, yo, you're hateful. You're an evil person. You're a divisive person. Hey, you know, whatever you feel, whatever demon that you need, whatever villain, whatever enemy that you need in order to sleep directly at night, I will be that directly for you, because I know that you can't conjure enough willpower to actually face the actual people who have affected you in life, such as your parents. Maybe it might have been your pappy, your grandpappy, your uncle, maybe your brother or stepbrother. Maybe it might have been a policeman or the ice cream man or somebody like that, or a next door neighbor. I know that you don't got the willpower to sit up there and actually go towards any of those people that actually affected you in real life. So this is why you're here, and you want to, oh, you're hateful. You're this type of individual. I know the rest of the blacks aren't like you. That sounds real divisive. Now you're trying to divide me from my people. You're like, oh, I know the rest of the blacks that I've seen. Those are the good blacks. You? No. That sounds real divisive there, maybe. That sounds very divisive. How dare you try to divide me from my people? How dare you? That's some crazy work. That is some crazy work. Let me see. Point Fire said, tell us that you were raised by a single. Okay, I was raised by a single mother. I'm basically quote unquote that statistic. But the funniest thing is, you know, while you're talking, the greatest statistics that I've ever seen directly out here are white. A lot of the white kids, now again, from the mental gymnastics and the psychology or the psychological propaganda that the United States like to put out there by mainstream media, by commercials, and so on. I always thought that every single white kid out here had a mother and a father. Shout out to Alex. Alex did not have a mother and a father. Matter of fact, I don't even think his mother was actually even married. So she has somebody out of wedlock, which would then make her a single mother. There were other white guys out there that I knew of where I heard stories that if they were with their fathers were actually the worst to them. Their fathers would sit up there and drink beer, and they would sit up there and take out whatever anger from the world directly on them. But like I said before, you want to focus on a black American male who's always been transparent about, hey, statistic, single parent household, all this other type of, you want to sit up there and talk about the obvious, but yet you don't want to talk about what's going on with the kids in your community that I've literally went to school with, that I've had conversations with. That's some crazy work. And it's crazy that I, in a sense, care more about that and have actually showcased that on my platform, being a black American male, than what you guys have. And y'all got all the whole world. Y'all got the whole internet to showcase this stuff. But every single time that I happen to see your greatest on social media talking, you always want to be, oh, it's always like some red pill type of stuff. It's what women are supposed to be doing. They need to be in the kitchen. It's all of this super ultra alpha type of stuff, but you're not actually talking about and caring about the kids, of which a lot of you guys go out there and get women pregnant, and y'all leave them too. But you know, you guys are so great at the wizardry and the sorcery and at, you know, psychological warfare that nobody actually knows anything different. So who are the primary ones that they normally like to state that are the abandoners when it deals with their children? The poster children for that are black men. Even though the CDC, who is not on or has anything to do with the black community, nor do they profit about putting out any type of good facing news about black men at all. They're not going to profit from that at all. The CDC themselves, the government, sat up there and said that, hey, black men out of every other race and group of men in the United States are in and around the lives of their children more than anybody else. Color me surprised. You know how many black men you got out here that are stepfathers? You know how many young men out here who are big brothers? You know how many black men out here are married to other women out here and they have kids that are not specifically theirs, but they're raising them as if they are? That's some crazy work. You know how many black men are directly out here that even if they're not in a relationship with that woman at all and they might have fell apart, he is still coming to the graduations. He's still at those birthday parties. He's still helping with the science projects and the homework. He's still taking trips and doing this, and he's still showing up and being present. But like I said, y'all wouldn't know nothing about that because you only know what it is that the media tells you, because you don't actually have the real world experience of being around and with and growing up with and around and within black communities and around black men especially. So yeah, like I said, I expect nothing less. This is why I laugh every single time that y'all want to pull up here and y'all want to try to say that I'm ignorant. Crazy work. But keep talking though. Keep talking. Keep talking. Keep talking. You said Reno was like, you are dividing and conquering. What am I dividing? What am I specifically dividing? Because let me put it to you like this, Reno. The moment of time that I just so happen to say that I love black people and I want black people to be cherished, respected, valued, loved. I hold, black people to the highest of highest light. I pedestalize. The moment of time, I do that. You know what I happen to hear from other groups of people that are non-black. Why do you have to show this admiration and respect and love for just black people? That's a little bit racist and divisive. Matter of fact, why does it even have to be with color? Why can't we just spread this out to everybody? Because everybody don't deserve it. If I'm going to be blunt, if I'm going to be 100% clear, crystal, everybody don't deserve it. If everybody did deserve it, then they would be doing it for their own people. But oddly enough, whenever it is that black people want to speak highly of their own people, everybody is like, no, black people, don't just speak highly of you. Speak highly of me too. Matter of fact, speak highly of all of us. Spread all of that energy. But I'm like, so you want us to give all of this energy while you take all that energy in, right? You take it all off the table. What are you giving back? Because whenever we give energy, it's never symbiotic. It's never in a form of yin and yang where we just exchange and share. It's always take. And it's if we're not going to give you all that energy, then we need to just stop giving it out. And that's crazy to me. That's diabolical. That sounds like some victims directly out there. Because you up here, Reno, sit up here being a victim. You're like, oh, you're being divisive and dividing and conquering. I'm not a master of war. That would be white folks, historically speaking. That's not me. So you're talking to the wrong person on that one. Crazy. Maybe it was like the First Nation are the only people who belong here. Skip everybody else. That's a personal problem. Whatever your belief is. All I know is that I know of quote unquote Native Americans that are being deported. And I don't know of Black Americans that are being deported. So there you go. Like I said, I don't need to debate. I don't need to, really do that. Like I said, people will figure it out. People will find out. I just want to be there when people start to actually wake up and realize what everything really is. I just want to see the looks on people's faces. But really, I won't be able to see the look because I know what a lot of people are going to do. I know what people are going to do. They people are going to decide to, pull a Robin Williams real quick. But, it is what it is. Or Alec Baldwin. But it'd be like that. It's diabolical. Diabolical. Like I said, shout out to Bill Gates. That's one of y'all gods. Shout out to Bill Gates because he's one of the ones that wants to cool down the planet. He's one of the ones that want to deal with population control by way of a lot of different things out there medically. So, like I said, shout out to the guy that y'all pray to. That is pestilence in the flesh. That is one of the many pale horses directly out there. Let's see what else that we got. What else do we have here? Somebody said real patriotic Americans love Trump. Black people have been patriotic before Trump. So what are you saying? I got men in my family who have literally served, while I've seen a lot of other quote unquote white men decide to dodge and decide that they don't want to serve. Because this is the difference between white men serving and black men serving. Black men served in order to do quite a few things. One of which was to, of course, help out at home, right? Even if you were like the only son and whatnot, whatever, you realize that your parents, they were struggling. There needed to be some money directly on the table for the family. So it was like, all right, I'm going to basically help out mom and dad or however it is that the house works. And I'm going to sacrifice and go directly into the military. I'm going to do everything that needs to be done so that I can make it back. Even if I don't make it back, somehow, some way, they're still going to be getting money off of my sacrifice, right? So that's how a lot of black men look directly at it, because it was a necessity. The other part of that was the fact that a lot of black men did it in order to try to prove that they are good enough to be here. White men, you've never, ever at a point in time in history in the United States had to join the military to prove that you are good enough to be here, because the government, this country was built directly for you. So you always had the option. You always had the luxury. You always had the selection of yay or nay. Black men didn't have that because we were like, yo, we got to prove to these white folks out here that we deserve to be here. We got to prove that we are just as good. We got to prove to them that we are honest. We got to prove to them we love this country. We got to prove to them that we are actually here and that we will actually protect no matter how it is that we get treated. And historically, that's what a lot of black men have done. And yet, y'all still pull directly up here and y'all want to try to say that the real patriots are the ones that love Trump. Real patriots are the ones that love America and have actually sacrificed for America, no matter how they've actually been treated historically. White people, historically, you've always been treated great by your government, by your country. Black Americans don't have that same history. So again, I just have to ask, who really is more patriotic? The people who have been mistreated and still sacrifice and do for this country, even though they're not seen as equal, or is it the people that get everything handed to them? It's crazy. It's diabolical work, but like I said, y'all don't actually care about any, Black Americans that have actually sacrificed. Y'all don't care about none of that. And like I said, a lot of things were started by Black Americans who were a part of the war. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't it Memorial Day? I think it was Veterans Day, Memorial Day. It was one of those days. Somebody can and throw that directly in the comment section. But I remember I covered that before, and I even brought up a video. And I'm pretty sure a lot of white people didn't know nothing about that, but yet they're so patriotic. They love America. Da 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 da. Crazy work. Crazy work. D Money was like, the mods are doing God's work. That's bars. They do it every day. Every day. Straight bars. What else we got? What I heard and seen on YouTube is that people are mad because Trump's deporting people. Then he wants the blacks to go out there and work the fields. The main thing I said up there and told people before is that for white folks directly out there, y'all better go out there and work them fields. This is a whole brand new time. We are not back in like the 60s. Let me pull that back real quick, because dealing with when slavery ended, we're not dealing with the 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, the 20s, the 10s, the 18s. We're not dealing with the black folks of those timelines where they were indoctrinated in order to be 100% fearful of you. We do not care. You are not about to pull anybody black out of their house at this moment in time with any type of torches. You ain't about to be pulling up to the scene like, we're about to start burning cross. Y'all ain't about to be doing none of that nonsense on up out here. If you want slaves, you better go directly to your communities. You better pull those drug addicts directly off the streets, and you better put them on them farmlands and call that rehabilitation. The same way that you want to pull black men directly from the black community and y'all want to hem them up one way or another and throw them in the school to prison pipeline, you better pull them white folks directly out there, both men, women, and children, put them directly in them fields to get them strawberries, to get those vegetables, those oranges, those apples, whatever it is that y'all growing in Florida, down south, or in California. You better grab those white folks. You better grab some SPF lotion, and y'all better have a field day and knock it directly out the ballpark. Because black people are not about to be pulling out of their house trying to be your slaves once more. We're not about to be doing no sharecropping. We're not about to be doing none of that. The only time you're going to see black people working out there on a field or on a farm is if it's their land, their field, their farm. We ain't doing this. And the funniest thing, thinking about this too, how many of these black Republicans out here are going to try to go work on some of these farms? None of them. Look at that one. Color me surprised on that. Color me surprised how a lot of those people are not going to be going out there and trying to work on those farms, trying to put things on the plates for, the American homes directly out here when it deals with dinner time. Color me surprised on that. Like I said, people are going to end up messing themselves up. It's crazy work. 100% crazy work. You said, can I get permission to show you on my channel as a racist in action? This is what we're going to sit up there and do. If you have to really ask me, that probably means that you shouldn't sit up there and do it, right? Now, like I told people before, I'm not the type of person to sit up there and I'm about to just copyright people. Whatever. I done had a multitude of people before you even existed decide to roll up here and be like, this guy SEIJIHITO, like he's really racist, he's really this, whatever your narrative is, go out there and go do it, because I got enough videos on my hard drive that I've done over time where I can pretty much disprove a lot of that, if not all of it. But like I said, whatever it is that people want to believe, just like how you say that I'm racist, I've had white people say it, I've had Chinese people say it, I've had Africans say it, I've had Mexicans say it, I've had some people from Canada say it, I've had some Europeans say it, people from over there in the UK, somebody from Australia. Like I said, you're just added directly to the list. Whatever it is, hopefully from whatever it is that you're going to decide to cut, or however it is that you want to reference it, hopefully you become rich. Hopefully you become the next biggest YouTuber. I highly doubt that that's how that's going to transpire, but I wish you all the best. Like I said, it's crazy work though. But I want you to know, at the end of the day, what's going to inevitably happen, which is something that I'm pretty sure you don't want to happen, is that people are going to want to know who specifically is that person that is talking, and they're going to try to search and find that person out. And if you're trying to put out a certain narrative and people want to happen to look and they actually want to hear directly from that person and actually have a conversation, they're going to go looking for that person. And once they start looking, they're going to start going through all of the actual content from that person. So I'm just going to warn you of that, because as somebody that's been on social media for a long enough time, I've had to do that. I've had to go through content, hundreds of videos. I've had to go through political officials' Twitters and everything like that to get the actual source, to get the actual information, because I wanted to know different from what it is that somebody posted. So like I said, now if you have a group of people that aren't about doing research and they just want to listen directly off of what it is that you say, again, you're going to have a field of people there. Now, if you got some people that know what critical thinking is, guess what? Your narrative is going to start to fall pretty flat, because the people that are emotionally intelligent, they're going to actually pay attention and listen. The people that lack that, they're going to do the same thing that you're doing right now. But like I said, go for it. Whatever floats your boat, go out there. Go out there. Dre was like, I'm not even sure what this guy stands for, but he's funny. Hey, it'd be like that. Reno was like, you're showing your ignorance. I guess so. No problem. Let me see. Saw said, facts. They got what they voted for. Do come running. Y'all messed around and found out. That is facts. That is 100% facts. You said that ICE hasn't even actually deported that many people when you look at the actual numbers of deportation. I mean, that's great. Yo, Senshi, what is up? What is up? What is up? Much love, respect, and appreciation out there in those Diablo streets. I see you, brother. What is up? What is up? What is up? Dread, I don't care what the numbers even look like. It's the fact that it's even happening. It's the fact that they're even mobilized to the point where people have to have a response in their own communities to ICE. So that lets me know that it's real enough. So again, I don't even care about the numbers. I care about the fact that things are actually happening. Things are actually moving. And it's not just word of mouth. It's not just somebody just on a loudspeaker saying that, oh, ICE is going to, no, they're actually doing this. People have recorded this. So, any which way it go is any which way it go. It's crazy when they come here and fly their flags like they're so proud of their homeland and they ran away from it. Yeah, that's my point. That 100% is my point. Like, that makes no sense. Like I said before, I have all of my issues and problems historically with the United States, but again, I am proud directly to be here. Like I said, I got family, I got relatives, I got everything directly here. I got history that I don't got history nowhere abroad. I don't got history over there in Europe and Africa, South Africa. I don't got nothing over there. I don't know nothing about those governments, nothing about those people, nothing about their heritage. I don't know nothing about nothing up over there. I know specifically about America. I know about the government. I know about the people. I know about the presidents, everything dealing with the police and all of that. So like I said, I'm here. That is it. It's crazy work. That is crazy work. I'm trying to hurry up and like roll through here because I know I'm a little bit late on the comments because I tend to stick to one and keep moving. Let me see. Why was said I never held the hand of a white man on the toilet. I'm sorry, the joke just went through my that's crazy. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. JV said black people voted for the couch. That's 100% facts. Keith said Cubans were put in internment camps. That's a personal problem. Cubans were also, for the first and the second wave of Cuban migrants, they were also helped out by the United States government, including the CIA. So it's like, what are we talking about? I don't care what it is that they had to go through. They decided to come here voluntarily. Nobody forced them to come directly over here. They decided to jump on a ship from Cuba and come directly over here to the United States because they were like, yo, we don't feel like dealing with what's going over there at this moment in time with the crisis and everything else. And you have some Cubans over there, they were trying to act as though that they were gay in order to seek asylum. So like I said, I don't care what it is that they were sitting up there. I don't care if they had to go through some internment camps. That's a personal problem. You wouldn't have to go through internment camps if you didn't get here. If you didn't decide to voluntarily come here. It'd have been different if you said that the United States forced them to be here and then put them into these internment. Then that's all wrong. That don't make no sense. But that's not the case. Again, I got at least a book directly on this. So, and I read off some of that stuff, some of the pages, a few times during live streams. Let me see what else we got directly here. Also, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and all of my moderators that are currently here at this moment in time. Love you guys. Thank you guys for everything that y'all do. Just gotta, put that out there. Yo, Mr. J, what is up? What is up? What is up? Dreadnought said Obama deported more people than Trump, and Trump isn't on pace yet to outperform. That's the only thing he did. Yeah. And that is bars. All of these presidents have deported. All of them. But like I said, it is what it is. Like I said, I have no dog directly in that race at all. I do not. Yo, Goth, what is up? What is up? What is up? What's up? You said it needs to be torn down and rebuilt. That's facts. If you're talking about the United States or the government or the system that is in place, yeah, it needs to be torn down and rebuilt from the ground up. And that's the main thing that I was trying to state to somebody else above. Because I'm like, yo, the system is jacked. It's literally messing up everybody. And then this is the main thing that I try to get through to a lot of people. But again, a lot of people don't want to listen. I got a lot of white folks out there that'll come through, pass by the channel. They'll be like, oh, he's racist, this is that, and the third. But then when you actually look at the other videos that I've done, and it's specifically tailored to you and your group of people, I'm like, how can you actually say that when I'm literally pointing out problems in your community, but you don't want to hear it specifically from a black man because you feel that, oh, you're black, you shouldn't be talking about white problems. Focus on what's going on in Detroit and in all of these other black cities and these Democratic run this and that. I'm like, that's crazy work. So you're not going to acknowledge the truth with what I'm basically talking on and speaking on. You would rather forego that and focus on something else. Crazy work. Crazy work, guys. Let me tell you, crazy work out here, man. Crazy work. But shout out to you and to the grandkids and everything. Yep said, stop the lie. Trump is trash and racist. Watch him throw away your black history. Let me put it to you like this. If they get rid of black history, that's cool. No problem. A lot of y'all don't even realize that black history used to only be like a few days to like a week originally, and that it was a fight to basically get it to a month. If we don't have black history, that's cool. That just means that black people need to bone up on a lot of this information, and they got to specifically teach it to their kids because the white American school system in the United States is not going to sit up there and do it. Trust me. Because whenever it deals with Black History Month, it's the same rehash of Black history heroes time and time again. And I'm like, so you mean to tell me that we only got like less than 10 people? We don't got nobody else? Like all of these inventors that literally are acknowledged for being inventors and the people that are acknowledged for having their inventions stolen? So we're not going to list any of those people? Okay, no problem. Like I said, that just means that black people have to do the teaching. That's it. Homeschool your kids. You can't expect, quote unquote, your enemy to teach your kids the things that they need to be taught in order to properly survive. Like I said before, the American school system is trash. When is the last time that the average American school system has actually taught any kid how to survive? They don't teach them how to be stable adults. They don't teach them about finances. They don't teach them about investing. They don't teach them about buying a house. They don't teach them about being a completely fully emotionally involved operational parent. They don't teach them real world stuff. They don't do that. Like that's 100% crazy to me. So like I said before, if they get rid of Black History Month, that is what it is. Okay, and next, what else we doing? Like y'all, like people keep listing this type of stuff as if that you're going to get a real emotional response from Black people. Y'all done did so much stuff. We're used to it. Y'all done took so much stuff. We don't really care because y'all been taking stuff and still taking stuff to this day. So what's one more thing? What's 4 more or 10 more things? 50 more things versus historically all the millions of things that you've taken and done. Like what are we doing here? Like you're talking about like literally a grain of sand compared to a desert. Like, what are we doing right now? Like, that's crazy to me. Russell said, blacks are upset at Latinos because the Biden administration was giving all the government jobs to... Are you stupid? This don't got nothing. Bro, what? Main character syndrome on top. It's at 900 right now. Like what are we're Black people are just mad because the Biden administration was simply giving Latins the upper hand. No. We were also mad at the Obama administration because we didn't get nothing from that. Like how, like are people just stupid out here? Do people only just want to just like see certain things? Like, are you even Black? I now have to ask that question. Like, are you even Black? Because you want to sit up there and try to tell Black people what it is that they're mad about. And I, as a Black American, I'm specifically telling you, no. The Biden administration and the Obama administration has given everybody things that they've needed versus actually helping out the Black community. But yet the Black community primarily are the ones that got them directly in office. So no, it doesn't. It's not specifically pertaining to the Latins. No. That's just being ignorant. That's just, being ignorant. Like that's crazy. That's 100% crazy. God said the oligarchs, Biden spoke about them in his last State of the Union address. Yep, but a lot of people aren't going to pay attention. You got a lot of sleight of hand directly out here. You do have a shadow government or other individuals that are the ruling class that make moves in the United States in the government, but we can't make it that far because a lot of people don't want to focus on what the actual problems are, at least of now, right, before we can actually get to the top of the problem. Carl said the same people that call us victims are the same ones that still upset about the Assassin's Creed Shadows. And let me let y'all know some Assassin's Creed Shadows is actually dope. It's actually dope. I just gotta, put that directly out there. So it's a good game. Good game. Tobias said, I'm not gonna like the match because white America is going to be their own catalyst. That's bars. Yo, Sunkiss, what is up? What is up? You said we are 41 million bars. Ghost Hunter India said, are you a Trump hater? I'm not on pretty much any side of this. The United States government does not care about the American people. So the moment in time that you can actually realize that, then you can actually realize what side that I'm on. But because I don't purely affiliate with either side, this is what people, tend to assume or whatnot or whatever. So, it's whatever. If people think that I'm for Trump, then people think that. If people think that I'm for Kamala, then people are going to sit up there and think that. If they think that I'm against either one of them, people are going to sit up there and think that, because again, people have been so conditioned to try to fit people into a certain box of understanding that they can't see from outside of that and understand that there is a such thing as critical thinking, and that people don't have to politically affiliate with a left or a right because they're both a part of the exact same government, which is a government that does not legitimately at all care about the American people. So, it'd be like that. That is where we are. Gail said, "You are doing fine, Mr. Hito. Much love, respect, and appreciation to Gail." Thank you, Gail. Cindy said they got very mad over the game. Yeah, they still mad. Manny said, "You can't teach dummies tossing pearls to swine." That's facts. That's facts. Draco said, "You are very vague and simply insulting any group. You should try to be more clear on your thought process." No, I'm as clear as I need to be. Again, I've been doing this for about quite a few years. So I guess you must have missed a couple of trains. There must have been a couple of stops. You wasn't really here for a lot of stuff. So I guess everything I'm saying is like gibberish, it's incoherent, it's belligerent speech. So it'd be like that. Like I said, I've been talking and going over this stuff for years. So it'd be like that. Tobias said, "I think just like Seji, that's why I tune in." Much love, respect, and appreciation. Much love, much love, much love. Dixon said, "Blacks are so easy to manipulate. The media can have you mad or happy in 2 days." Wait a minute. Hold on. Buddy, my friend, Mr. Dixon, let me put on my Brandon voice for you. Pal, bud, I'm not sure, if you really knew or understand, but the elites, the media, they're the ones that told you during 2019 that something was going to happen. Matter of fact, Obama gave a speech basically stating that something was going to happen, but a lot of people, I guess, didn't tune in. They didn't want to listen, right? And Obama's African and rah rah rah, all this other type of stuff. Bury Obama, right? And then once the Biden administration got directly in office around the tail end of December, of 2019, guess what happened? We had the pandemic. Look at that. Look at that. And do you know what the United States government did to the American people? They didn't protect them. They lied to them. You know what the World Health Organization did? They lied to them. You know how I know that they lied? Because look at what Kenya stated about the World Health Organization and what it was that was happening to the people over there, to the women over there in Kenya. So if that was happening in Africa, what do you think was happening to people in the United States that were told by celebrities, white media, white celebrities, these white political pundits, and these white media, these white medical professionals? What do you think they were sitting up there telling the American people? Buddy, old pal, Mr. Dixon, what do you think that they sat up there and told y'all to sit up there and do? Oops. Well then, who's easier to manipulate now? Because again, let me just put it to you like this. When I was covering the whole thing dealing with the pandemic, primarily and only I knew of white people, Europeans, that were falling flat when it dealt with this. And when the pandemic got here, do you know the main people that they were talking about that transferred that here? It wasn't Black Americans. It wasn't Black Americans. And the reason that they were highly talking about this throughout the news was because there was one demographic that was heavily suffering and going through this and spreading it all throughout the places. This is why your own media specifically told you that, hey, Americans need to do better jobs at washing their hands. If you go to the bathroom during this time, make sure to wash it, because you know who's not washing their hands? You know who likes to go number 2? And they don't want to wash their hands. They just want to drizzle and a little bit of cold water and then wipe off their hands. You know who likes to have fecal matter, bacteria directly on the handles of doorknobs, and they want to sit up there and work in fast food chains, and it ain't Black Americans doing that. So your media was specifically talking to you and trying to delve out and send out a message to you to get you to pay attention because it was serious. It's basically akin to like the AIDS epidemic and how it is that they were making sure to, you know, try to get a message out there to you guys, but primarily they wanted to make AIDS a black thing. So to basically calm down white folks because they know that, you know, you guys are highly sensitive, and once you guys get a little bit too much information and you feel like the walls are closing in, you feel like things aren't going right, they got to do something to soothe you. Because if they don't, you start acting like mad children who can't get their way in a candy store when you're supposed to be going shopping for groceries. Y'all start getting like that. Matter of fact, we can go back to J6. Because that wasn't Black Americans that did that. We didn't do that to the Capitol. Anytime that Black Americans were at the Capitol, we came there with respect. When you guys decided to come there, you treated it like one of your family members' house. You treated it, better yet, like an outhouse. You were climbing the walls, scaling the walls. Y'all were knocking over cops, fighting cops. Y'all were doing y'all were acting a plumb fool. But you know who sat up there and got y'all to act like that? The media. You know who controls the media? You guys. So again, who's the easiest one to manipulate? Just saying. Diabolical work though. But like I said, you got it. You got it. One who possesses said blacks are marrying more snow bunnies. No, they're not. No, they're not. You might want to check your statistics. You might want to just stop looking at sports and whatever it is that mainstream media is feeding you. This is how I know that a lot of y'all don't know nothing about black men at all. Y'all just want to go off of a perception that is given to you. Like I said, thank you for letting me know. It's crazy work. What did you say? Why is what is hateful to point out that white people's fault, but not when they do it? I guess I get what you're saying. Mr. J said Latinos love snow bunnies. That's facts. 100%. 100%. What else we got? Let me see. Got to go directly through these comments. Not gonna lie, Latinos act white and become racist in Miami. I've heard that a lot. I've heard that a lot. Goth was like, who is that on screen? Is that a Karen? No. That's not a Karen at all. She was just pointing out the fact that a lot of people want to tell Black Americans to go over to Africa, and she was pointing out that if Black people left, how much would also leave. So you got things dealing with culture. You got things dealing with inventions, creativity. Of course, you got, you know, music and different things like that, on top of the amount of money that Black people altogether spend and basically give to the United States government. So you would actually have a pretty nice deficit when it deals with money. You said Stars was like, you're full of ish. MFers earn respect. You ain't earned nothing. You're just another big MFer talking about black BS. I mean, if that is the case, then why are you here? If you actually have a problem with what it is that I'm saying and you don't jive with it, Turkey, then maybe you should just go shove off somewhere else. I mean, that's great. Like the craziest part to me is seeing grown men who are more than likely older than me complaining and crying in my comment section, while at the same time talking about either that Black Americans are victims or that I'm portraying myself to be a victim. You're a victim by crying in my comment section. Like, what are we doing? Like, how do y'all think before you just so happen to type? Like, you know we can see you, right? It's crazy works. It's crazy works. So now we're going on the black woman thing. You're like, black woman with kids from 3 guys. You know what? Let me get you real quick, because I was going to save this video for later. So this is for Keith up there, since you want to roll up and you want to talk about black women and all of this. I got you, no problem. Let me find one of your women real quick, because I think I got a video that'll match up. Let me get you. Let me just exit some of these videos directly out of the corner. Where is she at? Oh, I don't think I uploaded it. My bad. Let me actually pull this from the caves here, and we're going to deal with this woman here. So again,
my back door.
All right. So I just want people to understand. Keith wanted to be the one that, wants to, stand up for the women of his community. So for a lot of the white men here that always want to talk badly about black women, this one is for you.
On my back door. And you may be wondering, how did I get myself into this situation? You see, I thought it would be a fun idea to let 50 guys in my back door, along with my friend Lily Phillips, because, we like to do things that are crazy. But with that being said, I did a number on that back door. Not only that, but I've been doing this for a really long time, so for several years. And there's a lot of girls in the industry who haven't been doing it really long, or they haven't done it at all. So, I mean, if you think about it, I've been doing it for almost 21 years because I'm almost 37. So yeah, do the math. I've been doing it for a really long time. And with this line of work that I'm in, it needs to look perfect. And, here I am at the surgery place. Hi. Yes. Tiffany. Okay. Taking a urine test to make sure I'm not pregnant, which I am not because, I only do the back door. I really do think that this might become a trend, and I'm just putting this out there. Unless you're wanting to pay thousands of dollars, don't try this at home. Would I do this again?
Maybe it's
probably, but that's because I'm a professional. This was one of the most painful recoveries I've ever been through. So you can see the pain. It was so bad because I had stitches in there. It was so hard to put.
So again, that was dedicated to Keith and many of the others directly out there that want to speak horribly on black women. That is to you. There's so again, this is just not me saying stuff because a lot of y'all want to, oh, he has hatred in his heart. This is a racist, this is a hateful channel. Actually, it's not. But it is what it is, whatever you want to believe, because I know that you guys are allergic to actually looking at content and videos, and you don't know how to do stuff. You can only find the stuff that you want to specifically look at or hear. Right? You want to go after the stuff that you feel specifically is speaking to you in a way that you don't like. Right? You can never actually listen to me when I'm having a simple conversation and I'm directing the conversation towards your people and your community, and I'm trying to help you alleviate a situation or a problem. You don't want to do that because you know what happens when I do that? Y'all white folks be like, start focusing on black issues. Start focusing on these Democratic run cities. Why don't you blacks stop stealing? Why don't you blacks stop killing? Why don't you blacks stop doing and selling drugs? Why don't you stop burning? That's what y'all want to do. So now when I'm like, all right, no problem. So y'all don't want me to tell the news and to basically try to diversify and focus directly everywhere else because, right, I'm American. We're all American, right? So no problem. So y'all want to shut me down directly on that. Y'all don't want to hear the problems that y'all have to go through, things dealing with the family, things dealing with medical, things dealing with the veterans, things dealing with the factories and the jobs and the stocks and how you're losing your houses, how your land is getting stolen, how America is selling you. You don't want to hear none of that, no problem. So now you have me here. And y'all don't like that either. Ain't that something? That's crazy. That's crazy. That basically goes to the effect of that no matter what you do, you can never actually make people happy. And that further proves the point. You can tell black people we need to focus on everybody as Americans. Black people will do that. And then y'all tell them like, no, you just need to go back to focusing on yourself. Then when we do that, you'll be like, oh, why are you guys so racist and divisive? Why are you guys practicing being separatists? We're all American. Don't just focus on your issues. All of these problems are American problems. We're going through drug and incarceration problems too. We're going through police problems too. The government really doesn't like us either. Hey, and I'm white and I'm poor. And I didn't grow up with white privilege. It's crazy work, but here you guys are. It's crazy. Diabolical work. But like I said, shout out to Keith though. This is one of your many women. This is, one of your many of women that decide to do these types of things. And sometimes they'll just so happen to post it on X. What was it? Somebody named 5 Mile Smile said, this loser is such a scrub. Woo, ma'am, you are older than me. Oh, dear God. Your age is showing. You call me a scrub? You went with the terminology with TLC. What are you even doing here? What are you even doing here? Like, you should be probably like watching like some Zeus Network or something. Like, you should be watching like some reality TV shows. Like, what are you even doing? You really just sat up there and called me. I can't even get offended. Like, that's hilarious to me. That is, wow, called me a scrub. I haven't heard that terminology in ages. Wow. It's diabolical work. Keith said, you're not a big YouTuber. Okay. Let me highlight that. Okay. What do you want me to do with that? Who said that was a big YouTuber? Like, dude, I don't care. Like, I know the certain things. Like, if I really wanted to be larger than what I was, I know the tightrope that I would have to walk in order to get there. And I'm not about that life. I'm not going to sit up there and do it and be on like some type of point where, you know, I get to a point and I got Nike or McDonald's sponsoring me because of the tightrope that I walk and the way that I just speak, you know, in general. And I'm not pinpointing certain things, or I have to do it in such a way where I have to be this magical black representative. And then I have to down talk the black community every single time that I get so I can start getting money from white people. No, like, I don't care. Like, that's cool. That is completely cool. Like, bro, like, what am I supposed to be offended by that or something? You're not a big YouTube. No, I'm happy every single day I can just do what it is that I do. I'm happy for what it is that I have established so far. Like, that is hilarious. You're not a big YouTube. Okay. Oh, yo, that is crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy. Let me see. We got De Facto in there. That's a name I ain't seen in a minute. This man said we was Vikings. Yo, that's some crazy work. Oh, technocracy and not the democracy of now, I guess that's supposed to be. Yo, Bink, what is up? What is up? You said you sent something on IG. Somebody said that people are being deported, full stop. I mean, people are being deported without due process, full stop. Like I said, hey, it's bad out here in these streets. A lot of people didn't care about this when it was that they knew that they were coming to a whole nother place where they weren't going to be allotted protections. This is why I try to sit up there and tell people, be very careful what it is that you do. Be very careful of the moves that you decide to sit up there and make, because chances are very great that you are not, you know, going to have anybody to save you. And this is why I try to tell a lot of people who are migrants, immigrants, whatnot, or whatever, that, yo, you got to be, you know, very careful. Okay, obviously we must got, yo, you know the funny part, Pink, I literally just went directly to my IG, and I wish I could sit up there and show y'all like the profile. I think this has to be like a bot profile. Now I gotta get like Dr. Umar out here, where you got a random out here that decided to send a message talking about love the edgy vibe of dope black, LOL. Sent that at like Thursday at 9:26 a.m. Then sent another message yesterday at 5:26 a.m. talking about, hey, with a scrunched up face. Then another message today at 1:26 a.m. It has to be a bot because it's always somewhere in the morning. Talking about, did you forget about me, with the exact same face? Ma'am, I don't even know who you are, nor have I ever had any conversations. And I'm looking directly at the content here, and this is looking like close to what we would consider to be somebody who more than likely has an OF, on social media, because I'm looking at the makeup, I'm looking at the house. Yep. The only difference is the person does not seemingly have the link directly up there. But yeah, this is crazy. Never in my life have I ever seen any nonsense like this in my inbox dealing with IG. Like that's ridiculous. Like I don't even get it. Like I just want to be honest for the white women out there. Like, yo, there's feels of like white boys directly out there that would more than likely be fit and more than happy to be directly with you. I'm not sure what is like the whole. I don't even care if it's a bot or whatnot or whatever. It's just the simple fact that black guys will happen to get things like this in like their, let's say like the comments or in like their messages, and it's like y'all already know who it is. A black dude can sit up there and say that he loves and he has 4 black women and that's who he wants to be with, and somehow some way other people will see that as an invitation, as be like, oh, let me just sit up there and throw my hat in there. No, don't sit up there and do that at all. Nobody called for you, nobody sent for you. Go directly up over there to the white men who are more than likely paying for your OF and who wants to sit up there and be with you and be next to you, get married and have kids and all. Go search out for them. Stop doing that. Like that's some crazy work. Because and then on top of that, you got the few, and I'm going to put it like this preface, like you got the few black dudes out here that are into white girls, but they're not trying to chase them dudes down. It's always when people know that somebody is selective about who it is that they're interested in or want to date, married, and all this other. People want to, yo, that's stupid. That's stupid. Like I said, I don't care if it's like a bot or not. It's just the fact of the matter that it's stupid and it's horribly annoying. Like I hate that. 100%. Let me see.
Show me your Brandy Renee, I swear to God.
Yo, that's crazy. Hold on, I gotta try to. Hold on, I gotta try to. I gotta try to get that off of what's the name real quick. Let me just sit up there and do that. My bad. I had to go off on a little tangent because, like I said, I get annoyed by quite a bit of stuff. Like I said, it's just me, and like I said, never at any point in time in life would I ever do anything like that. This is like in the same thing where you have some of these social media white girls that purely say that they love white dudes, but then you have dudes of other races trying to come through and shoot their shot. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? She specifically says she is not interested in you. She is interested in men of her own race. Why would you go into her like that? That don't make any sense. Why make a fool out of yourself? Like that's, like I said, that's my main point. I just find it to be disrespectful. That's all I'm saying. That's just me. That's just me. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only person that sees it like that. But like I said, I just wanna put that out there. Let me see. Now I gotta go to this one. I gotta do it this way. All right, so I can put that directly up there. That is hilarious. That dog literally barked as soon as she saw somebody. That is hilarious. I guess people are going to say that the dog is racist when I just happened to show this video. So let me just try to post this for y'all real quick because that was funny, right? But like I said to Keith, that was a shout out to you. That was one of your women right there. But now let me go to this other video. Something that's a tiny bit lighter, right?
Dog.
Brandy, I'm telling you right now, if I get up and I look and it's white people again. Brandy Renee, I swear to God.
Show me your.
That is crazy. That is crazy. Dog barking because somebody was out there. Oh, that is crazy. That's hilarious. But I guess that means that the dog is racist, as a lot of people like to say. That is diabolical. Let me see what else we got up here. Tobias says, Seji, you represent us very well. Keep it up, bro. The racist troll keeps saying things to see if they can distract you emotionally and get you to derail from a logical standpoint of your posture. Like I said before, I'm at the point in time. Like I said, I love black people. Good, bad, and the ugly. It is directly what it is. And things will get situated and things will just so happen to get fixed. And as stated before, if I don't just so happen to love black people, who else is going to do it? White people are not going to do it. And they will honestly tell you that. You can see the comments directly in the comment section to further prove my point. Asians are not going to do it. Arabs are not going to do it. Africans are not going to do it. Europeans are not going to sit up. Nobody else on this planet is going to sit up there and love black people if they don't love themselves. And that's just a fact. So, like I said before, it don't matter which way I sit up there and move on platforms. Hey, you know, people are going to end up having a problem and a issue, and it just is that, right? Let me see. Mr. J said America has always been divided. Facts. Gail said Dorito-shaped people go home. Ooh, diabolical. Barbara said we got Americans on the streets. At least the camps gave them a roof over their heads. You know what? Let me just point that out. To who was that? Barbara, you got a very valid point. A very valid point. And that was the main thing that I tried to tell a lot of white folks directly out here. I see a lot of homeless white people directly out here, a lot of destitute white people directly out here, a lot of strung out white people out here. And even some of them are in families, like they got kids strung out, and the kids are just sitting up there on the strollers on the side of the streets. But yeah, I don't see white Americans screaming about that. I don't see them crying. I don't see the angst. I don't see the rush to actually do something, which is crazy to me. And again, I, as a black American, I've tried to point out these issues to tell white people like, yo, your people are faltering. Your people are falling, right? The government is literally doing the exact same thing they did to black people. Now they're doing it to your people. So now what is your response? And the response I see from white people is nothing but silence. And they decide to just focus on whatever it is that black people, oh, look at these gang members. Look at these black kids sitting up there fighting. Look at this breaking into a store. Look at them burning. And I'm like, wow, so your people are literally falling out in the streets with their kids and strollers, able to watch this. And you would rather try to focus in on black people because you don't actually care about your own people or the problems that are happening by way of the government that you voted for. Crazy work. It's diabolical work. But like I said, this is why I love doing live streams, because the comments further prove what it is that I've always been sitting up here saying. Because if I'm racist, then these people could easily start another platform and prove the fact that they're not racist. And they could then build from that platform and showcase all of the wrongs that are being committed against all different groups of people. But they don't. Like I said before, even when it deals with America, in order for America to be the hero that it portrays itself to be, there has to be a villain out there. And if there's not a villain, one has to be made. So for a lot of these people that want to use my content and try to prove or try to say that, oh, you're racist, this, that, and the third, I am that villain. I am the designated villain in order to prove that they are better than me, in order to prove that they are not racist, or quote unquote, not as racist as I am, right? That's all it is. That's all it is. And like I said, it is what it is. Whatever helps you, whatever gets you to sleep directly at night, I will sit up there and be that villain directly for you, because you are not champion enough to actually deal with the real world effects of things that have happened to you by way of your family, your friends, or the relationships that you've chosen to actually be in. Or better yet, you're not even champion enough to actually go at your own government. So here we are. Here we are. Let me see. What else do we have here? What if people in your community worship other religions? I'm not sure who that might be for. Gail said the mofos from south of the border are disrespectful AF to black people, talking about if we don't if we don't take up for them, we're next. Yeah, that was crazy. That was some of the craziest videos that I've seen, so far. Self-defeating logic sounds like a personal problem with all other groups. Do you hold your group? This is the funniest part. Let me just highlight this. This is the thing that I love so much. When people try to ask me that, yo, you're trying to hold all these other people accountable. Have you ever held black people accountable? For anybody here that's been here long enough, I will let you, if you want to, if you have the free time to do it, I will let you explain to this person. Because again, I've been doing this since about like 2019. We're in 2025 now, so somebody can do the math on that. I'm not the sharpest crayon in the box, but again, this is what it looks like when people pull up to the scene and they just want things given to them information wise, and they don't actually want to do the research and or the digging, and they want to throw out assumptions in order to get things fed directly to them. And again, grown adult, mind you. That's some crazy work. So like I said, somebody, if they got the free time, somebody can clearly answer that question for you. Or as a grown individual that you are, as a grown man that more than likely you are, you can go through the channel, which I know you won't, and you can just so happen to look through all of the stories. And I'm just going to specifically tell you, if you actually want to see some stuff, you might want to try to turn the clock, try to search back to like 20, let's say like 2020 or something like that. 2020, 2021, you'll start to see the news stories pop up that I've actually done and covered. But like I said before, people don't like doing that, even with good directions. What else we got? Tom said, I'm 41 and I learned about the Toulouse massacre like 5 years ago. Yeah, our education system missed a lot. Like I said, much respect and appreciation. This is what I respect right here. I respect actual honesty. I respect people basically stating that they were ignorant of something because of how it is that they were taught. And then later on in life, they actually found out and they educated themselves on it and understood that, yo, this is jacked up. Like, how come, the United States didn't teach? Like I said, that's not how the United States is built. It's built to only specifically make one group to be the champions or the gods, to look the greatest out here, right? They're going to tell the winner's story. They're not going to tell the stories of black people. Black people didn't win nothing out here, right? We didn't win no wars, nothing like that, right? So they're not going to tell nothing directly about us. Even if we did win wars and different things like that, they're still not going to tell those stories. They're still not going to push those directly out there. This is why you still got the stories of like Pearl Harbor and the World War stories and all. Everything is specifically like Black Hawk Down, all of this stuff, right? As if we didn't have black men out there sacrificing and doing the things that needed to be done in order to bring soldiers back home and all this other type of crazy work. But like I said, shout out to Tom, one of the few that I've literally seen over the years that can be honest about learning something about Black history that the United States government does not specifically want to teach to kids in history class. Shout out to you. Let me see. One said, I voted for Trump, but boy, you said I voted Trump, but he needs consistent prayer. That makes no sense. I'm a little bit confused on that. How could somebody that you voted for need consistent prayers? That's crazy. Reno said, I agree with some of what he is saying. I'm not sure exactly who you're speaking on, because you could be replying somebody to the comment section, so I can't even dive deep into that one. Janetti said, don't let people get to you. They just want to stay on that particular subject. Instead, they should be trying to unite. People want is all to be against each other for their gentrification, right? I got you. Most said at Draco really needs you to answer at least one of his questions. I bet he does. I bet he does. What was it? Gail said, white folks been erasing / manipulating history. Nothing is new. That's facts. That is facts. Somebody said we're just trying to be on the right side. I'm not sure exactly what side that is. JK said they want you to be financially literate so that you continue to be a wage slave. Yeah, like I told people before, they want a group of workers. They're getting rid of the middle class. They want poor versus the rich. But again, I can reiterate that, say that to a lot of white people. Y'all will still somehow, some way say that I'm racist. I'm wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yada yada yada. All that other type of stuff. I can specifically state the topic to you, and it's still a problem. Like I said, it just comes to the point that a lot of y'all just don't want to listen up until it's time to listen, and by that time, when it deals with white people, it's too late. Now you got to deal with it. It's crazy work. Somebody said EBT boy. I guess that I guess even though white women are the main ones that really benefit from things dealing with the government systems. They were the main ones that was also profiting from affirmative action and DEI. But go off, you got it. You got it. We got Bushido in there. Say people tried to warn them time and time again, but told us we got it and we don't need you. Now begging for help. You cut your nose off to spite your face. Yep, that's facts. Brian said, show some videos of black mobs burning down black-owned businesses during the Floyd riots. What is up with y'all and the whole thing with Floyd? Like, what is y'all obsession? Like, I've seen y'all. Like, nobody is out here talking. Nobody in the black community is talking about George Floyd at this moment in time. But for whatever in life, I kid y'all not, if you go on X right now and you type in George Floyd, it's primarily white folks out there with their profiles, both paid and not paid. And they all got like memes and they're still talking about George Floyd. We're in 2025. We're in 2025. How are y'all still sitting up there talking about George Floyd? Something that y'all really didn't sit up there and care about. You want to bring up George Floyd? Let's talk about the fact. Let's talk about the fact of how the United States government is poisoning every United States citizen. Let's bring that up. Let's talk about that. What about the videos I brought up about that? What about the chemical warfare that's going on dealing with your kids? What about the low population that you guys have both in Europe and Asia at this moment in time? White Americans. What about the low birth rate that you have at this current moment in time, and how your folks in the media, the news, and in the government got to come out there and tell you, we want you to have more kids. If white people in power have to tell you, American whites, to have more kids, you have a problem. You have a deep problem. But you don't want to talk about that. You want to talk about something deal with George Floyd. What year are we in at this moment in time? Like, y'all keep bringing up, oh, George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, Black Lives Matter. We're in 2025. And you sit up there and continue to try to tell black people, like, oh, stop sticking to the past. Let's talk about the here and now. Y'all can't even sit up there and stick to your own rules. That's some crazy work. And I know how old you are, Brian. Wait, not Brian. My bad. No, yeah, it is Brian. Yeah. That's some crazy work. You said you wish that they took the month of Black History. Let me show you the ignorance directly in here. And to a lot of white folks out there, you wonder why it is that you don't happen to see me trying to specifically do the videos to point out issues and whatnot in y'all community. Because this is what 9 times out of 10, this is what y'all like to come up there and do. This is what y'all like to come up there and do. Like I said, it don't matter how I specifically state stuff or say it, the information I put out there, this is how y'all act. Y'all act like some straight weirdos. Y'all act like some kids. Y'all act like you don't have no common sense. You act like you weren't raised with no type of home training. I know that you weren't, but yo, you don't got to act like that on social media and let everybody know. It's crazy. I understand that y'all got bath days. You sit up there and may take showers or baths like twice a week. That's it. You got one girl that was directly out there. She was on the whole extent of, I'm not taking a bath. This is day number 31 of not taking a bath. That water was black. It was blacker than black. And that's crazy. That is 100% doubt. I would never in my life do any crazy madness like that. That is crazy. However, could you have water that is black like that? That is some crazy. I'm not even sure what that even was. But yet here we are. Here we are, right? You want to sit up there and show off your ignorance. The same thing how y'all want to try to deflect and say, oh, blacks, you guys are so ignorant. This is y'all on an everyday basis. Whenever it deals with black platforms, whenever it deals with black channels, this is what y'all like to sit up there and do. Y'all like to pull up to the scene and fully showcase your ignorance in order to try to trigger to get a otherworldly response directly from black people. But like I said, y'all got to really do a lot at this moment. You got to actually overwork because of how much work you guys have put in the United States in order to get emotional responses and reactions from black people. Now you're just getting this, which is what I'm doing. I'm just talking. You're not getting no yelling. You're not getting no screaming because realistically, you're not even, worth the time to an extent. But like I said, I love that you guys are further, proving my point. And again, who was that? Who was that earlier that wanted to sit up there and say that I was racist? But then I get comments like this. I wish they took the month of Black History and taught about Black on Black violence and crime. So much to learn, and I'm racist. When historically speaking, white people are the main ones that have contributed to a lot of the wars and the loss of life around the world. Who came up with the attack? Who been dropping bombs on countries? Who been dropping missiles by airplane and submarines and all this? Who been doing? Because it wasn't Black people. We're not going over there to which I want to consider the Middle East. We're not going over there to Africa and dropping bombs over there, people up north. We're not doing that. We're not sending people back to the Stone Age. We're not causing coups and all this other types of stuff around the world. We don't got the money for that. We don't got the we don't got the governmental power, rules and regulations to do that. But you want to be like, oh, we need to sit up there and learn about Black on Black violence. The most violent people that I've ever learned about in history have always been white people. And that's by your own admission, by your own history books. But somehow you forgo all of that information that we all learned together in school, and you'll be like, yes, the Blacks. I love you guys. Oh boy, I love you guys so much. It's great. Like I said, I wouldn't be where I am at this moment in time if it wasn't for the trolls. If it wasn't for the Fox, racist directly out there, because a lot of times you guys only want to act like this when you're on social media, but when you're actually in front of Black people, guess what? Y'all don't be saying nothing close to this. You'll say it in your tight groups, your knit groups, your families and your friends, the water cool. You'll do your biker joints. You do all of that. But when it specifically details being around Black people and saying something like this, walking around a group, you'll never in your life say it. Crazy work. Crazy work. Draco said, so you agree with Trump of drawing from the World Health Organization? I've been said that the United States should not have been a part of that. And I've listed for years why that is. Other countries have listed why that is for a lot of years. So I don't have a problem with that. But if you're trying to somehow segue that and to try to say that I'm a Trump supporter, it doesn't make any sense. Again, I am about the medical interest and the health of people. I'm not for the experimentation because, again, primarily Black people have been going through this experimentation. White people can't say the same thing. Y'all don't got the same history. So, again, we are not the same. Let's see. What else do we have here? What else do we got? Gail said the European literally invented high heels to literally step over the fecal matter in the streets. Yeah, that's bars. People forgot about that, though. That is crazy. He said this is coming from a community that lives off of white tax dollars. White people pay for food stamps and Black people don't. Where do y'all get y'all information from? Where do y'all get y'all information from? Like, dude, for the most part, Time Magazine and Time is pretty much trusted when it deals with information. For the most part, that Time Magazine had literally came out, and I'll never forget on the front cover, it was a white woman sitting in her nice, posh kitchen, and she was reading a piece of paper, and it purely stated on Time Magazine how white women were primarily the beneficiaries of government assistance. And that was by your own people. But like I said, whatever. It's like I said, y'all have this belief that it's primarily and only Black people that are directly on government assistance. Go off. You got it. Somebody else talking about some BLM riots. Again, y'all showing y'all age. I know that you guys have to be in like your late 40s to like your 60s. So again, the Grim Reaper is not that far. So keep talking. Every breath you take is going to be happening. And I'll be watching you because he's coming. Let me tell you. Shout out to Sting. Shout out to the police. shout out to them, even though that was a song about a stalker, but the Grim Reaper is stalking you. Let me tell you, every breath you take, every step you take, he'll be watching you. JK said, why did you just play that? Is disgusting. I had to play it due to the fact of somebody that wanted to come up and talk about Black women. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to that's what we do directly out here. We are about that life. So this is why I try to remind people, watch what it is that you say, because I got videos loaded in the magazine for a lot of different situations. A lot of different situations. Let me see what we got. What else we got? Somebody said, you don't believe in Christ? What Christ are you talking about? What does this Christ look like? That's what I need to know. Because people want to, dibble and dabble and cherry pick things from the Bible. Which Christ are you talking about? Let me know. JV says, Seji, can you play the chicken video again? Wait, the chicken video? Wait, are you talking about the white girl that was just up there going to the doctor's office? Let me know. Hold on, let me highlight this. You said, please, everyone, we are passing through a hard time. We need to be together and be one. Forget we are all American. Please don't fight. See what we can do to get this country and unite. What are you talking about? This is sounding real white at this moment in time. Didn't I tell y'all about this? Didn't I tell y'all to stop doing this? Like I said, I whatever godly in nature, but I am not your God. I don't know who you throwing up this Hail Mary to, but obviously whatever God you pray to ain't listening, because America is looking real hit right now. A lot of people going through a lot of different situations, and again, this is what people just so happen to vote for. So I think you may want to aim that directly at the people that voted for the administration and voted for the president that is currently sitting in the seat at the moment in time, and the same president and the same administration that I told you before that could very possibly allow him to serve for a third term. Right? So altogether, that would technically be 12 years, correct? And I want to let people know I was talking about this like months ago. So just in case if you happen to hear about this in the future, which I promise you will, just let you know I was there. Like I said, you might want to kiss the ring on whoever it is that you pray to. You might want to go talk to the Pope after he's done with your family, and have those parishioners try to pick up the left-handed phone and try to talk to God real quick. I'm pretty sure he's not going to reply, because the guy that you're looking for, that you think that they pray to, ain't that God. But you got it. You got it. Gail said, just admit that white folks have torn this whole country to pieces, and the sad part about it is that they keep doing it. That's facts. That is facts. Let me see. I'm just trying to find something real quick. I'm not sure if he miswrote that or what it was, but he said Darren the Second Coming. I don't even know what that is even supposed to be. What else do we got directly down here? I guess we'll see. Reno said we have common ground. Are you talking about no? You no. If anybody out here said let me make this very clear. I'm not really in a job of trying to transition people into agreeing with me and different stuff like that. If people disagree, that's cool. We can have a debate, have that conversation. That's cool. You're on your side, I'm on my side. If you basically call me a racist, Reno, don't sit up there and say that we got things that no, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. You had a stance. It was either you or somebody else. Either which one, I'm going to put y'all both in the same bucket. Y'all both came up here, or you came up here and said that I was a racist, and you wanted to disprove this or that and all this other type of stuff. Do videos. No. Stay directly on task. Don't sit up there and switch up. Don't do that. Don't do that. Let me tell you, do not do that. Goth was like, JK was actually converting with me. Oh, Sham left out. Hey, Sham. Much love, respect, and appreciation. I'm not sure if she's still here. She might not. She might not have heard that. I'll probably write her on Steam and let her know. Like I said, the only person that I know of where it was like we had like a conversation where it was like sort of on like some neutral, type of thing. That was Goth. That was the one main person I seen rolled up here, and that man is white. That's the one main person I seen roll up here. We had a conversation back and forth doing a live stream. I forgot how long it was. I think we might have been, responding back and forth for at least probably about like an hour or something like that. And then it was, some other live streams, directly after that. But like I said, we were having normal conversation. Normal conversation. Now, when it deals with a lot of y'all other ones directly out here pulling up to the scene, all y'all want to sit up there and say, "Oh, Sid, you racist? Do you really hate me?" That's some crazy work. That is some crazy work. The one said exactly, the government is against us masses. Well, it'd be like that. The Bill of Rights said, "Sir, you're wrong. People love everybody as long as you have respect." That is a lie. Because you want proof of that? The quote unquote the original people of America and also the Africans, they loved Europeans just off of the strength that they were different. It was like, hey, you're new to this land, you're different, no problem. We got love and respect for you. We're going to share this and that and yada yada yada. You know what the Europeans did to them? They disrespected them. And they started a whole bunch of wars. They started a whole bunch of coups, a whole bunch of arguments that were not even getting started. And they started doing divisive nature stuff where, all right, we're going to invest in this one group, and then we're not going to invest in this other one. But then we're going to talk to this other group of Africans here and tell them about what the other people that we invested in, what it is that they're doing and what they is plotting. So then that those other people can then come to us and ask us to help. And we're going to invest in both parties. So you know what that then means, right, guys? That they're making hand over fist from a problem that they created, and they're the ones giving out the solution, where they're making money off of both groups, no matter what destruction, no matter all the lives that it basically costs. They're the ones behind the scenes making the money. Crazy work, though. Diabolical. Pagan said, "Then why did he repeal segregation? I frankly don't care." Draco said, "Accountability is not there. You're straw manning." Actually, I'm not. If you want to deal with the accountability that I've done, you might want to go research and do videos like the grown man that you are, just like you're showing up and, making comments here. BA said, "You know why they went to the Dodgers game during that debate." RY says, "Seiji calls out every group." Let me just put that directly up there. RY says, "Seiji calls out every group whenever asked, that must be new. Whenever asked, that must be new to his channel or is trolling." Like I said, I got a lot of people here that have been here longer than some of the people that's actually commenting, leaving like some type of foolishness. So they're going to know a lot more. And at certain points in times, quite a few people that are actually commenting that's a part of this channel, we may have had disagreements about certain stuff. Like I remember I've had some conversations with some people before when I specifically was talking about the black community, and people didn't like my tone. They didn't like the things that I was saying, all this other type of stuff. And here we are now in 2025. It happens. It'd be like that. It'd be like that. Chris said, "Stop playing that racial ish." What racial ish am I playing? Like, you don't even make any type of sense. Like, like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? William said, it's whites and blacks on Skid Row." Well, that's terrible. That means that the government has failed white people, does it not? That's my point. That's my point. RY was like, "Bars, that's the same thing I said. You have no home training." Yeah, they don't. It'd be like that, though. It'd be like that. God is up here rolling. Mo was like, 72-hour deodorant wasn't created for us. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Tamas said, "Dude, just," and I guess you're supposed to put like just advice, "buy as much toilet paper tomorrow. The price is getting very high very soon. I got warned." Okay, well, shout out for the warning. Direct. Let me just put that out there for people, because I don't know if some mass hysteria is going on. I don't know what's transpiring at this moment in time, but I guess something must be coming because people are doing an influx supposedly for the toiletries. I don't know why it's not the food. It's always the toilet paper and it's always the dog food. I can't give you the science behind it. I know it, but hey, it is what it is. I'm not going to judge though. Not going to judge, but shout out to Tomas, for putting out that information. What else we got directly out here? D Money said, I would say that we should have a White History Month, but that's pretty much every month. Yeah. Whenever I was in school, I learned about white history. That is bars. That is bars. One says, so the trolls and the racist make him. That's crazy work. Ultra said, we can say, though, that 32% of the population is responsible for 50% of the violent crimes in the United States. You guys always want to bring up that one stat. And this is the thing. Right? If you want to deal with, let's say, like the crime within proximity, which means the murders, no problem. You get a Tootsie Roll directly off of that, right? If you want to talk about the robbery, no problem. You got a Tootsie Roll directly on that. I think it might even deal with the guns as well. You might even get one on that. I think there's about 4 when it dealt with the FBI stats, but when it dealt with all of the rest, that primarily was white men. So, like I said before, you got it. I'm not running from any of that. I know what takes place within proximity. I grew up in a black city, in a black community, so I already know. But what is not known is the atrocities that y'all commit in your own communities, because y'all never want to highlight that, because y'all don't want to focus on it, because y'all don't actually care. You always make this presumption or whatever wordage. Like I said, not the smartest tool in the box, right? But you guys always put out this type of rhetoric to make it seem as though that you care about human lives in general, but when it details your own lives, you are silent. I go on MSNBC, I go on Fox, I go on all of these other sites, including X, and I look at a lot of these stories, and I don't really see a heavy response when it deals with white lives losing out to other white lives. I never happen to see it. I never happen to see the angst when it deals with white lives losing out to drugs, to alcoholism, to the DUIs, to the police brutality out here. I never see it. I never see this take place when your kids or the men of your community are getting wrongfully arrested for a crime that they didn't commit. But yet you want to make it seem as though that you actually care about stats. You want to make it actually seem as though that you actually care about human beings, and you don't. So it's like, what are we doing? Why are we even, doing this at this moment in time? It's crazy. JK said the original welfare queen was actually a white woman who was using fake names. They don't want to talk about that, though. They don't want to talk about it. RY said Oswell County, Kentucky is the number 1 in the country on welfare. I heard about that as well, too. William Berry said white women are primarily the beneficiaries of DEI. Facts. Trying to just go through here real quick. We're making it to the 9 o'clock mark. Leo said, no, man, that's nonsense. It's that thinking that got us here. People should be told that they are being dumb. What are you talking about? Because I'm blocking them? Or which one? Some troll was like, why did you call ICE on my family? Nobody knows who you are. That's why your comment won't even get highlighted. See, Lucas, we don't even know who you are either. It's crazy work. What was it? What else we got here? I got some more name calling directly in the comments section. We got a lot of smooth brains directly in here. What else we got? Hey, we got Hack directly in the building. I didn't even see it because YouTube didn't tell me. Shout out to Hack for the $3 dono and the super sticker. Much love, respect, and appreciation, brother. Much love, respect, and appreciation. We got somebody else making some dumb jokes. What else we got? Please look at those stats again. Black crime is down. That is facts. Let me see. Trying to make it directly down. I think we actually made it down. All right. So I technically caught up. So now we're going to continue on with the other videos that I got up here. So this is the next one.
The reason it be like this, or should I say stay like this, is because black folks keep it up. It's not the white people who come in and spray tags and write gang shit all over. It's not the white people's fault. Y'all don't take care of y'all shit. People don't be mowing their lawns. People don't be painting their house or picking up the trash that be all over the place. Why you think there don't be no new stores opening around here? Because they already know the black folks gonna rob them blind and not show up for work. If any of this ever gonna change, it's gonna be because black people finally stop living in denial and understand that we the reason, right? Because the second a house seem empty, it's fiends running up in it and taking copper and whatever else they think they gonna get money for. It's us, bro. We the reason no one trying to put these neighborhoods. We the reason every other part of Detroit get developers except us. They don't want this to look like the buildings be looking in our neighborhoods. Bruh, please stop electing these same politicians, man. Clean y'all up. Stop thinking someone gonna come through and save y'all, because they not. Y'all made the bed and now we mad because we've been left to lie in it.
All right, so let me just, because I would always see these videos, especially in let's say like from 2012, 2010, 2012. And you would always have people that want to show the worst areas of Detroit, and they want to try to encompass that and try to say that that's all of Detroit. It's the same equivalent as white people in America trying to show Africans over there living, in huts or whatnot or whatever, because again, you got tribes and different things like that, right? They want to basically show that like, oh, just 10 cents a day and somebody got the Zika virus and this person needs mosquito netting. They want to make it seem like that encompasses all of Africa. But yet when you actually look at a lot of the African nations there, they have homes. They got better looking homes than what we have. They got more better constructed homes than what we have. And those people actually own the land that they are actually on at that moment in time, which is diabolical work. They got running water, they got toilets, they got whole cities, they got whole towns that are lit up, that are neon. They got all of that. But like I said, white American is propaganda. They don't want to showcase that. So when I happen to state that I know that a lot of white folks have never actually been around a black city or around black people, this is how I know this is what white people think of when, let me just mute it and let this play. Whenever white people talk about black cities, they always try to talk about Detroit. And they were like, oh, look at these burnt down and these rundown homes. Ask the same person who wants to do this same type of video, why doesn't he go through the great black cities? I literally came from a black block. Me and my friends all grew up there. I guess you could sit up there and say it would be like middle class or something like that. I guess you could sit up there and say, even though I looked at it as standard issue, right? And we didn't have burned down houses there. Everybody was out there cutting the grass. It's all still kind of to this day. It's almost all black. Everything. Some white people, of course, gentrified directly in that neighborhood, which again is crazy to me, 100%. But I know why it is that they're there. But everybody out there, including the black president, everybody was out there doing their yard, planting their flowers. Again, I lived on the exact same block in the exact same area as Kwame Kilpatrick back when he first became mayor. The first thing that man did on the block that he lived in, that the block that his kids was playing ball in on the Fisher Price Little Rim and everything, the first thing that he did, we had police going up and down the street, up and down the area. That was one of the main things that he did. The streets were cleaned up of any and all types of trash. Whenever it is that we needed garbage basically moved, we had the specific garbage days and whatnot to come, the bulk pickup and everything. They were first on our block, first directly in that area, sweeping up them streets, making them clean. They made the initiative to sit up there and start planting trees directly in our front yards to beautify the block. On top of the fact that they made sure that out of all of the other blocks there, that our block was going to be the first ones. Our area was going to be the first ones that got shoveled. The city came directly through there pronto, shoveling, salting, everything. Whenever they had Angels Night, because it used to be called Devil's Night, I was out there with them, sitting up there walking, going through, instead of, in a sense, going out there trick-or-treating, I was out there walking with them. because the main thing was to help stop the crime or to curb the crime or the arsons and the fires that would take place during Halloween. So like I said, a lot of these white folks that always want to come through here talking about Detroit, talking about black people don't do this, we do a lot of stuff. Y'all just ain't privy to it because y'all don't care. Even when it's showcased, y'all rather pay attention to the negative than a positive. And then you got dudes like this that want to do this voiceover and they want to do the slow roll and through the blocks. Show all of the actual good blocks in Detroit where black people have home ownership, where they take care of their yards. Because I trust and believe, me and my grandmother and my mother, one of those people. My boy Chris across the street with his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Thomas, one of those people. Boy Rob, who sat up there and used to work directly at Ford designing cars, one of those people. The Dixons directly next door, one of those people. Mrs. Massey, who was a retired school teacher, one of those people. We had a pastor and his daughter directly across the street. I can't even remember her name right now. Like I said, everybody took care of their yard. So it's crazy to me when you got people out here that say that black people don't do this. I'm like, what black people are you specifically around? Who are you specifically looking at when you're talking about this? And I get tired of hearing this narrative because, like I said before, it's a tired and it's a trash narrative. And the only people that realistically believe it is, the white folks directly out there. Because they ain't trying to hear nothing positive about black people at all. They not trying to hear none of that. Like, that's crazy. What was it? Oh, you're a troll. I'm not even going to respond to that. Let me see. You said, why would someone, what? Why would someone their benefits to help you? He was never going to do anything for, what are you even talking about? What was it? Sunderha said, what is sad is that there are a lot of sad places and cities everywhere. Yeah, and that's the funny part. I've literally seen white towns and color me surprised when I saw white towns that looked worse than areas in Detroit. Color me surprised on that, because we're taught that white people got the best neighborhoods. They take care of everything. They never let anything get run down or burned down or all this other type of stuff. But people don't want to focus in on that. They always want to fixate on black people because somebody has to be the negative. Somebody has to be the poster child while somebody is being the positive. Like I said, that's crazy to me. And like I say, even on the original block that I grew up in, people were still taking care of, their homes and their blocks and everything. But again, certain things will take place and happen. The other thing I want to note when it deals with Detroit as well, too, is that the banks, and I've also covered a story where it dealt with Macomb County and Wayne County in cahoots when it deals with the homes and how it is that a lot of things are run down because they're allowed to be run down. Because what a lot of white people and other people don't understand is that the banks have the money when it deals with these homes. And the way for them to get the homes and also for these others out there to get the homes and to get the property is to bring down the value of the property. So what does that then entail? That then entails that in these black communities, when they know that these houses are empty, a lot of these banks, police, or whoever, because they're all in cahoots, they will pay somebody to commit a crime such as arson to devalue the home. Once that home is devalued, that lot is devalued, that then is going to devalue the rest of the homes in that area on that block. Which means that if black people wanted to sell their homes for the highest value, they cannot, because now it is not beautiful anymore. Now it has blight. Now there is something wrong. And in order for them to really make that money, they have to be able to get rid of that blight so that the value of the home can basically come up. But once the value comes up and once the value declines, guess what? You're going to now have more of an entrance of crime. Once people realize like, oh, well, this isn't getting taken care of, no problem. We're going to sit up there and doing this, that, and the third. Other people, other homeowners who are proud of their area, proud of their home, it's like, yo, everything is looking dark around here. Everything is not looking the same. I'm about to just sit up there and move somewhere else where I don't have to work as hard, where I don't have to sit up there and take care of this and do this and that. And this is how you have generations of black people moving directly out of black communities. But people always want to sit up there and make it seem like, oh, black people just run from their situations. They never want to fight. They never want to sit up there and fix. No, there's a lot of contributing factors of which are outside of what it is that we control. Again, we don't control the banks. We don't control Macomb County or Wayne County. We don't control the police, and we don't control the investors who are trying to buy up that land from the black areas. We don't got that. Like, that's crazy to me. One who possesses said, I wonder how that happens. The money said facts. FBA said President Clinton is the real reason that that part of Detroit looks like that when he let all those jobs go overseas. Like I said, it's a multifaceted situation. It is a multifaceted situation. And never at any point in time would I ever be so ignorant to look at another group of people and not add in the fact of other powers that be that are literally moving things behind the scenes that the ordinary people do not have control of or not even contributing to. Like I said before, that would be completely ignorant of me. Like I say, even when I deal with the drug epidemic that's dealing with the white communities, I list the powers that be who enable those drugs to take place and happen. But like I said before, let other people and white people pull up to the scene. This is every single time they talk about a black city or whatnot. This is what they talk about. This is what they think about every single time, and not any other factors. It's crazy. Tommy said, I just subscribed with a like. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Much love, much love, much love. Tobias said, Gary is Chicago's little brother. John said, when the economy and good jobs leave it destroys the city no matter what color. I mean, that's the point. That is clear cut the point. But again, I can only use black people as an example because who thinks of a destroyed city when they think about white folks? Nobody. Who thinks about drugs whenever they think about white people? Nobody. Who thinks about crime when they think about white people? Nobody. Who thinks about government assistance when they think about white people? Nobody. Who thinks about a lack of protection in families when it deals with white people? Nobody. Right? Because they're made to be, again, like I said before, the highlight, the hallmark card of everything. So they can do no wrong. There is no wrong. They suffer nothing. It is everybody else that, in a sense, are looked at as the negative. Right? It's crazy. But like I said, everything that people see in black cities that they laughed about and whatnot, this is going to come to a city near you. But anyways, let's go directly to another video. Let me just highlight this. And this is a teacher.
Yeah, I'm sure you're confused. I'll explain everything to you. You're Christina? Yeah. Okay, Christina, do me a favor. Can you step out of the car for me? I know you're confused. I'll explain everything to you. You don't have anything on you. You can just grab whatever you need.
Whatever I need?
Yeah, whatever you need. Like your phone, your purse, go ahead and grab it.
Is she going somewhere? Or?
Yeah, we're going to explain everything to you guys. Go ahead and grab it. We're not going anywhere right now.
So this is a female high school teacher that was charged having relations, and that's the student in the car.
Come with me?
Yes, yes.
So to whoever was trying to, again, talk about black women, talk about this.
Should I shut the car off?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Why does she have her student in her car and she's married? Why does she does it? What's happening?
Okay. So back over here. So,
but look at how nice the police are treating her.
We have to talk to you about it at the police department. Okay.
Look at that. We got to talk to you at the police station. We don't want to talk about it out here. It's real personal.
We do have to bring you there, though. Okay. So I just have to put you in handcuffs and bring you to the police department.
Look at that. He was like, I have to put you in handcuffs, not turn around.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have to do it that way.
Crazy. Look at how gentle he's talking to her. And brother, when I sit there and tell y'all that everybody is in on this type of stuff, notice that there is no anxiousness, there's no severity. He's not treating her a certain type. He's handling her with kid gloves as if it's just a pure misunderstanding. She's literally in the car with her student. This is a married white woman in the car with her student. He was like, we'll let your husband know that he can come get you. Whew!
I'm like,
brother.
I get it. You have a lot of questions.
So scared.
Brother.
Yeah, everything's okay. We just need to talk to you at the police department. That's all.
Like I said, to anybody that want to run him off and talk about black women?
Okay. I'm sitting back in this car on the other side.
Look at that, kid gloves. Look at those nice homes out there. You know blacks aren't out there. You know the blacks aren't out there. It will look like Iraq.
I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you more.
You know, that's what they be saying. So let me just roll that back real quick. Let me just roll that back, right? Let me just freeze it right there. So that is a high school teacher, white woman that is a high school teacher that is in the very same car with her student. She had the nerve to sit up there and ask the police, can he come with me? Ooh. And y'all got the nerve to sit up there and try to run your mouth and talk about black women? What we doing? I done showed you two different angles when it deals with white women here. Please don't come here deciding that you want to talk about black women when your own women are doing this. That is shameful. Out of all of the white men directly out here that are obviously capable of being able to handle her, that are highly educated, that have corporations, great jobs, 9 to 5s, doing whatever it needs to be doing in order to show that they are the man of the men, she still decides to be with a 15-year-old. Ego done, ego cooked, ego fried. Pride is just in a black hole somewhere. It's directly deep in the ethos. I don't know where it is at this. That is crazy at this moment in time that this teacher would opt, instead of being with an adult of her own community, to be with one of her students. And like I said, this is where we are at this moment in time. That's crazy to me. So yeah, that's 100% crazy to me. So again, the moment in time you decide that you want to roll directly up here, just remember that I have videos up here in the clip just waiting. But like I said before, the police are directly in on it too, because it was only one cop. Looking at the reflection, it's only one cop. Handled her directly with kick. Ma'am, I'm going to have to sit up there and put you in handcuffs. Something happened. We don't really want to talk about it. And it's really a pressing issue. I would really not even want to say it on body camera. Matter of fact, I'll say it, but we'll make sure to blur it out. That's some crazy work. You're literally in the car with your student. That's why they got the face blocked out. And then the dude was like, yeah, we'll just sit up there and either you can call your husband, we'll call your husband and let him know that you're down there at the police station. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like I said before, the police are directly in on too, along with the judges and everybody else. That is crazy. And I want to also note that more than likely she is not going to at all have to face any type of charges of being on the registry, because anytime that I just so happen to talk about these stories, when it's women that do this, guess what? They're not getting, told that they're going to be put on a registry. He never even mentioned that at all. It was like, hey, we're just going to, bring you down there. We're going to have a conversation, and then we're going to release you on your own recognizance when your husband comes directly down there. Like I said before, y'all don't care about kids. Y'all do not care about kids at all. That is some crazy work. Mr. J was like, maybe they role play as mommy and son. That's crazy. That's some diabolical work. Man, Gail was like, I bet you that cop probably high-fived the student. He probably did. FBA said, for the people in the back, you see the difference. Yep. And that's the main reason I wanted to showcase this video. There is a clear-cut difference. And no, you don't really hear on social media, you don't hear them blasting about this white woman that was with her student in the car, in the driveway. Crazy work. I'll be pretty shocked if that was actually the student's house, because it looks like that's where she picked her up at. Because if the husband has to be called, that's probably not her house. Waba said, yeah, I thought it was protocol for about 15 officers to arrest people. Yeah, I thought it was too. Obviously not. Sham said, okay, I'm done doing taxes. What I missed? Nothing much. You missed quite a bit of trolls. I think for about an hour, responding, going back and forth, showcase some videos to, kind of put some people directly in their place, different things like that. D-Money said, handling CP with kid gloves, bars. As said, you never notice that white women rather be with the students than adult men. Ooh. Rabbit was like, are white men inadequate? It's cold-blooded. That is cold-blooded. The next, wait, was this another video? Did we do this one? I don't think we did this one, did we? That was that video. Let me see. Did we do this video?
I got bad news for you.
Okay, so this one is going to deal with going on to the aspect that I was talking about with food, chemicals in food and different things like that. That's a bad freeze frame, but you're going to end up hearing what this woman has to specifically state. So let's hear this out.
If you don't eat pork, I got bad news for you. I'm at Publix right now, and I'm going to show you something. You see this ingredient right here? Monodiglyceride. It's in almost every single bread product in Publix, which means that you're eating pork if you eat bread from Publix. Look at it right there. It's in all of these. Bro, I can't eat nothing. But some of these right here actually don't have it. This is the Cuban bread, and it's safe. Look, you see the ingredients? This one is good too. The point I'm trying to tell you is that you need to actually read. Oh, wait. Let me show you something else. Okay, now I'm in this section, the hostess. You see that right there, mono and diglyceride? See right here, it says it can be derived from plant sources, including pork. They are not going to tell you if it's actually from plants or pork. More than likely, it will be from pork. And the crazy thing about it is that it's not just bread, it's cakes, it's cookies, it's crackers. Y'all really need to be mindful when y'all start buying a whole bunch of this stuff, especially if you don't eat pork. Chick-fil-A's bread got it. Burger King's bread got it. Wendy's bread got it. The only one that I saw that didn't have it was Five Guys. But it's insane how they're just sneaking pork into all our food. And if you watch this video all the way to the end and put it in the comments, stop sneaking pork in my food. That way I know you watched it, okay? Bye! And make sure you share this with a friend who doesn't eat pork. That way they know. Bye!
So we're able to hear that, right? Pretty much when you happen to buy food from certain establishments, they are putting pork derivatives or whatnot or whatever directly in there. And this is what I tried to tell people before. If they're doing this specifically with pork, if they're doing this specifically with soy and different things, what then do you think that they're smuggling in directly to your food when it deals with the taste, when it deals with the chemicals, when it deals with the look, when it deals with how it is that it is formulated? What do you think then? Like I said before, they're not going to specifically tell you what they are putting in your food. They're going to use these long, strung out chemical words, chemical compounds, of which they know that a lot of people can't even pronounce fully, because I sit up there and take out my time to make sure that I properly pronounce all of those words when I'm saying them. And I know that the average person is not trying to do that. They're not trying to just sit there on their phone, Google something, Google Speak, and, look at it, figure out how to pronounce it, and then from there, dissect specifically what the chemical compound is, and then from there look at the negative effects on the chemical compound, and then from there look at where this chemical compound specifically is and in what foods, and also the negative consequences of having said chemical compound. A lot of people are not going to do that. A lot of people are like, man, I don't even care, just give me my food, I just want to, it's whatever. That's where a lot of people are, and this is why they do the things that they just so happen to do. If the United States government actually cared directly about the people, they would plainly put everything directly out there, but they're not doing that. So like I said before, I can point out stuff just like this and people will still sit up, said you're racist. It's some crazy work. That is some crazy work, let me tell you. Crazy work. What else we got here? What else we got? One said I would do that. Rabbit said I need to refresh my chemistry knowledge. Yeah. Sage said McDonald's hamburgers got human in them, and check it with Google. Like I said, I believe it. I believe it. Like I said, if Texas Chainsaw was an actual thing and we're to pay attention to that story and to everything that happened, yeah, a lot of people in Texas were taking part in that. A lot of people it'd be like that. Like I said, nobody really knows what is in any of their foods or the things that we drink. We can hope to know, we can assume, we could try to read, but even when we read, we're still getting misled because they're not going to put everything in there. Like I said, what's the actual what's the actual ingredients to Coca-Cola? Nobody knows. They're like, oh, that recipe is hidden. You had a black woman that was going to try to sell that recipe, and then Pepsi was like, nah, yo, Coke, we might be adversaries right now, but I want you to know, like, this girl, she's trying to sit up there and sell us, y'all stuff for about, like 1.5 or something like that. So I just want to let y'all. It's crazy work. Like I said, all these corporations, work in tandem. They work side by side. Like, it's crazy work out here. Crazy work. One said I'm a fast most of the times. Then Most said, what's the secret to Soylent Green? We all know the answer to that. FBA said they used to put cocaine in Coca-Cola. Yeah, that was probably the greatest Coca-Cola out there too. It was probably a cure-all for everything. Gail said them Asians will eat anything. They control the pork industry now. I believe it. I watched a lot of videos of Asian people, eating a variety of stuff. And I'm like, yo, how are you even eating that? That's crazy. It's diabolical work. One said, government again, screwing us over. That is facts. Waba said, zombie attacks the living, not the walking dead. It ain't it. It's facts. 100%. Now, to the white Americans out there who seemingly have all of this money to buy these great, fantastical homes, these fantasy homes, right? So I guess you could say this person is like an auditor. They go in and they look at the homes and to evaluate things. This home is supposed to be a $3.5 million new construction. So we're going to look at what this man has to state.
Square foot or so, luxury house. Let's see what we find. So these gutters are sloped the wrong way. Also starting to kind of sag right there. And that garage door is uneven for some reason. Those gutters up there have detached from the fascia. No wheat poles above the windows or doors. So here's our tankless water heaters, and they've installed a circulation pump, which is nice. This will circulate hot water throughout the house continually. But the way they've installed it, you can't get to the flush connection to flush your unit annually. Also, there's a circulation pump. There should be a thermal expansion tank, some means to reduce thermal expansion. So far, I haven't seen one. So this master bathroom has a steam shower, and here's the water heater for it. And that is a lot of water in that emergency pan.
So we saw that, right? And that was supposed to be a $3.5 million. To the white people out there, and y'all pay for these homes, y'all stupid. I'm just going to be real. I'm so sorry. Not sorry. This is ridiculous. Out of all of that money that you paid, the simplest things, you got literally the water is running and the pipe is already leaking. That's a brand new home. How does that work? And then on top of that, the water is literally leaking in an area where you got an electrical plug. And then on top of that, the electrical plug is not even properly suited for that area underneath. Like it's exposed. Like what is happening? Who did brother? You can't even get doors to hold flush. Are you serious? Something that simple. Doors can't even sit flush. The drawer in the bathroom was crooked or hanging off when you fully pulled it out. Like, what's going on here? Like, who are y'all allowing to build these houses? Y'all getting robbed. White people, this is why y'all be getting robbed. This is why y'all be getting robbed. Y'all the main ones to afford these houses, be putting all of this money in these houses, and ain't nothing happening. Like what's even happening? And then y'all got the nerve to sit up there and be having like houses on beachfronts, knowing that a tsunami can just sweep that away. Y'all got the nerve to sit up there and be building houses in the hills, knowing that you're one earthquake away from going directly into the center of the earth. Like, what are we doing? And you're spending $3.5 million? Just say that you want to, launder your money somewhere. Just buy a painting. Buy a painting and get a nicely built home for about $2K or something like that. There is nothing there that is 3.5. There is nothing there that is 3.5. That is crazy. And then you're looking at the window right here. What is that? I would expect that from if I was in a hood somewhere, I would expect that at like an Airbnb or something. $3.5 million, and that's hanging directly off. The glass for the presentation of the glass wall, it's not even sitting flush. What is going on? And that garage looked like trash. Like that looked like it was previously from a home from like the 1970s. Because I saw the wood frame directly on that garage and how small it was. It looked like they just redid a mansion or a home or whatnot that was there, and then they just rebuilt on top of that and decided to keep something that was old. Like that looks stupid. That garage looks $3.5 million. I had a better and larger looking garage, and the house that I was in was nowhere close to no $3.5 million. It was a standard issue home in a Detroit neighborhood. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. And for anybody out there that think that I'm some type of like suburban kid because I'm listing all this stuff, I was right off of Dexter, literally right off of Dexter. I was literally in between Livernois and Dexter. So if you know where that is, you know where that is. If you know what Dexter and Livernois, you know exactly where them places are. All right. I just want to put that directly out there because some people, start getting their minds moved like, you ain't really from the hood. I never really said that I was, from there. That's not something I would ever try to claim. But hey, whatever you want to claim is home, hey, you got it. I ain't going to debate you. You got it. Pink said this house reminds me of the movie Money Pit. Yeah. Gail said people actually have hollow doors for their front doors. Make it make sense. Yeah, it don't make sense. One of the main doors that I remember that we had in my grandmother's house, that the family grew up in, it was a solid wooden door. I'm talking about solid. Like a lot of kids now, they don't know what a solid wood door is. They don't even know what that is. They're like, what's that? Right? Because all of these doors are just like plywood. It's like two pieces of wood, and then you got the main pieces that connects the two pieces that go through the middle, and then you got the hinges and everything like that. This is why you see videos of people basically putting their fist through a door. Yeah, and again, a lot of these people ain't really that strong. Let me know when you got some of these dudes putting their hand through like some cherry wood or a solid oak door. They're not doing that. They're not doing that. Like I said, with these little plywood and all this, with this the cheap imitations that they got out here, yeah, they can do that. They can flex and act like they're as strong as they want to be. But like I said, go back to the standard issue houses that were American, right? Let's go back to some 70s, some 60s, some 50s. Yeah, nah. You're gonna be messing up your hand trying to put your fist through something. You're gonna end up breaking yourself before you actually break the house. But hey, it'd be like that. RY said in SoCal, Rabbit said hiring the wrong contractor can put you in severe debt if you don't have a large income. Seen it with one of my neighbors. His house is destitute and he's in debt, so he can't repair it. That's terrible. Jack said America doesn't produce quality. It's all about how much money you can make. Yeah. Israel said, let them continue to construct their own vanity. That's true. That's true. D-Money said, Hollywood facts. Israel said they are getting the desire of their heart manifested into reality. One said, know that being passive. Wait, I'm a little bit lost. He said, why should we let them? I'm a little bit confused on that one. Sam said, nothing is made in America anymore. When we made it in America, it was quality. Now we just ship it to China to make everything is made from cardboard and manufactured wood. Yeah, it is. Gail said, Balsa Wood House. Sham said, it was America's stupid greed that caused this when they started manufacturing building materials overseas. True. Sage said, old Chicago house, 3 levels, still standing. Yep. One said, we as the people don't need to let them screw us over again and again. Well, it's going to keep happening because, people don't want to sit up there and listen. So that's where we are at this moment in time. RY said that part, tell us, Seji, those houses slid off the cliff every good flood, especially after the bad fire, and definitely crack after a big earthquake. Yep. That is bars. That is 100% bars. And that is terrible. What was do I got one more video directly? I got one left in me, coach. Got another video right here.
Say routines.
Actually, no. Let me not do that one yet. Let me see. Hold on. I think I got another one. Let me see. No, actually, no. I think yeah, because I can't show that one directly. Oh, I do got that one. So let me just showcase this one, right? So this is basically somebody put together a video basically trying to state that Nigerian dance influenced Black American dance. Where are we coming from? Like, is it just not possible for Black Americans just to have something? Now people are like, oh no, okay, the dances that y'all doing, those are clearly from Africa. You clearly got that directly from there. You clearly need to give Nigerians their credit. Nah, like just like in Detroit, we got jit. Like we got our own dance and and different stuff. Like the Midwest, everybody got their own type of dance and whatnot they do. Shout out to everybody out there. I'm not about to sit up there and say that this is Nigerian. We're not doing that. We're not doing this. You're not about to sit up there and try to take credit away from the Chicago people. We're not doing that. We are not about to sit up there and do that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. And like I said, and this is what I go back to saying before about how Black Americans are so nice, how we give love and respect to everybody else, but we don't get the same thing in return. We don't get that. How many videos do you think that they do over there in when it deals with Africa and their people where they talk about Black influence on their music? Just saying that, like, how often do you think they do videos like that? They don't. When it deals with like the fashion, when it deals with this, they're not doing that because they're like, this is them. This is what they do. They do it in their own way, their own style. So that makes it theirs. But when it deals with Black Americans that have been doing these things for decades upon decades upon decades, like this is our culture. This is just what it is that we do. Here comes somebody to sit up there and claim and say that, oh no, you're not the originators. You're not the ones that sat up there and did it. Crazy. That is completely crazy. I'm like, you got to be sitting up here kidding me. You got to be sitting up here kidding me. Brother. Can't have nothing. Can't have nothing. Can't, just like I said before, can't have nothing. Can't have nothing. Can't have nothing. Well, like I said, shout out to those in Chicago. Shout out to y'all, much love, respect, and appreciation. Continue to hold it down and protect the culture by any means necessary, because you got people over here trying to take everything. Like I said, y'all got to deal with enough with people, always trying to blast y'all and on the media saying negative this and negative that and all this other, never highlight nothing good. And then when it comes to something positive, now they want to sit up there and take that away. Crazy work. Like I said, you can't win. You just can't sit up there and win. Just can't win. Just can't win. So now we're going to listen to a Black American male who has been on social media. Some may know him, some may not, but he's going to go over the reaction that people gave when he had a live stream or a video where he told his son that he does not want him playing with girls' toys. So let's listen to what the brother has
about playing with girls' toys. They posted on Shade Room Teens because I got on MJ ass about playing with girls' toys. Hey, it's my son. I don't want to play with girl toys. Raise your kids how you raise your kids. I don't give a fuck how y'all feel. Straight like that. It's your kids. Some people ain't raising their kids at all, but I'm going to raise mine how I raise them. You hear me? On Shade Room Teens for me getting on MJ ass about playing with a girl toy. Man, I don't want my son playing with no girl toys. Right. Then I told to my son how I told to my son because he ain't going to be soft on you. I talk to him like that because that's my son. Let me father him how I father him. He going to be a man. Post nothing else. Shade Room Teens, y'all down bad because y'all ain't post nothing else this week about a nigga. Nigga hit 100K on Twitch, 200K on Twitch. I ain't post that. Y'all just post one. I'm telling my son how to play with a girl toy. What a congratulations. Y'all post the just all the context all the time. But no achievements, no accomplishments.
And I want to point that out because, again, whenever even going through some of the comments that we had earlier, you had people trying to say that, Black men aren't fathers and all this stuff. We see it all the time whenever I happen to do live streams, right? People want to deflect and they want to talk about Black men. is literally an active father. This is literally a man that built something off of his own strength, off of his own back on social media, gave himself a presence and he's directly up there, right? And now he created a family that's able to profit from what it is that he created. But because he was online and he told his son that he doesn't want him playing with girls' toys, now people want to critique him on being a father. Which one is it? Do you critique black men for not being there, or do you critique black men for now being there? Like it just doesn't make any type of sense. And again, black men are the main ones that have to really face and go through with this, because whenever they wanted to talk about toxic masculinity, they always wanted to bring up black men, but nobody wants to talk about the cops. That's not toxic masculinity, the way that they brutalize a lot of different lives out here in America continuously, even doing like protests or whatnot or whatever. Nobody wants to talk about that as toxic masculinity. Oh, I got it, because that's reflective of white men. And nobody's going to attack them and call them toxic. They're going to say that they're just being men, right? But if it deals with black men doing something and they're actually being or having that active father role in the life of their child, now magically, it's toxic, it's something wrong directly with them. Because even in the comment section, people are like, oh, it's 2025. Why are you saying that he shouldn't be playing with girls? Because just like he said, he is the father. You're sitting up there critiquing a father that is actually there. A lot of people that wanted to critique him, you need to critique the father that was never there. That's what you need to sit up there and do. You actually need to be a parent in your own children's lives, right? You need to figure out how to be more emotionally present for yourself, so that then you could actually be present for a family that you decide to create at a moment in time. Like, it's crazy work out here. You want to critique a man for being there, for being present, for literally setting rules and boundaries, because he understands how society and how mainstream media and other people try to manipulate, and they try to enforce certain things directly on kids. He ain't about that life, and that's clearly what he says. So what's the problem? Like I said, this is the same thing that white people are going on and in about when it dealt with Anthony Mackie, talking about how he raised his sons. And people had a problem with that. I'm like, are y'all stupid? You got black fathers sitting up here literally talking about how they raise their kids, and people are blowing up and having a problem with that. Like I said, it don't matter how it basic. A black man can be there, a black man cannot be there, a black man can be imaginary. Somehow, some way, the black man is at fault. The black man is a negative. He is a detriment. He has to be talked about in a negative light. It just has to be highlighted. That's crazy work. That is crazy work. Like I said, I've never seen this with any other group of men as fathers in the United States other than black men. Never seen it. Like I said, that's crazy. That is 100% crazy how that works. 100% crazy. But this is where we are. This is where we are. But anyways, that was pretty much it for the live stream. We made it for a good 3 hours and 30 minutes at this moment in time. I had quite a few videos directly up there to showcase to the people. Shout out to any and everybody that decided to donate directly to the platform. Wouldn't be able to do the things that I do without people like you, without supporters. Like you. And also, again, shout out to anybody that's been with the channel for the longest time possible. Shout out to the patrons. Shout out to anybody that is locked in with the channel membership. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Shout out to, any donators of the channel by way of the super chat, and also by way of the Patreon and everything. I'm sitting up there forgetting because it's a little bit later. So my mind is in a bit of a relaxed mode at this moment in time. But yeah, shout out to y'all. Because I think this is the latest that we've actually done this live stream at a moment in time. So, it's a little bit different. But again, love you guys a lot. 100%. Like I said, I would not be able to do the things that I do without people like you. Actually, the funniest thing is I'm looking at one of the videos and it just made it to about a good 6K, which is actually pretty dope. So shout out to anybody that pulled up to the scene and watched that video that was posted. The live stream at this moment in time actually ended up getting about a good what's on my end, it says about 16K. Well, on your end, it might say 16K, but all together, I think we had about like 30K that pulled up to the platform and the channel. So, shout out to those folks. No matter if you stayed in here for about like 5 seconds or a minute or whatever it is, much love, respect, and appreciation. What I need to do Let me see if I can properly do this, because I think I know how I'm supposed to do this, because I'm trying to hook some stuff up in the background real quick, because I keep forgetting to do this every time I have a live stream for whatever reason. So let me see, because I think they should have an option in the back. Let me see. Stylytics. Let me see. We got the stream health. We got the shopping. Waba said that is awesome, bro. Yeah, it's actually pretty dope. It is pretty dope. Pretty dope. Wait, what happened? Wait, something just happened. Hack got somebody. Oh, okay, you got a troll. Yeah. I didn't see him up until I actually looked at the what's the name? So I couldn't even tell. Enable, that's a start, that's a play, that's a closed caption. I could have sworn there was something in the back. Let me see. Is it edit the description? Because I'm really trying to get this straight. Let me see. Customization. Allows you to keep in a live stream or premiere for people to watch. Okay, I think that is it. Wait, does it specifically have to be a live stream though? Let me see. I think it actually might have to be a live stream, which let me see. SEIJIHITO. Second. Yeah, I guess it really just has to be a live stream. Videos from your channel. Videos from other channel. Hold on, no. You can't be doing this. Yeah, usually I would have ended the stream right now, but I'm trying to really I kid you not, I'm trying to really sit up there and get this trying to get this set real quick, because I'm trying to try it out. But it's not making sense. Let me see. Look at videos. Yep, it didn't show up there. Yeah, that's crazy. So I guess I can't do that then, which is crazy. So I guess I would actually have to put the past video, I guess, to do it like that and see if it works. Because for whatever reason, they won't allow you to actually put a secondary video, which is crazy. So yeah, this is just me just doing whatever at this moment in time. So yeah, y'all free to, in a sense, duck off and be free and whatnot or whatever. I'm just trying to get some stuff actually in the background working. Like I said, trial and error. Let me see, customize. Yeah, that's crazy. So I guess I can't. It would just go to that one. Now, see, why did that work? Let me see. Nope. Hold on. So I should be able to. Okay, so yeah, it just has to be. That's stupid. I don't understand why they would actually do it like that, but I guess that's the way that they got it. But yeah, anyway, so I did put some up on the background, but yeah, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and everybody for being a part of the live. So what happened? Israel said, great live. Sham said, remember y'all, do not go out there on April 5th. These people want a race war, and I don't want to hear anything about our people being harmed. That's facts. D said, thanks, brother. I'm looking forward to your next live. I got you. Tobias said, you did some cooking as usual. Much love and appreciation. And, I wouldn't be able to do it without y'all. So D said, are you going to do a live next Saturday during the protest? As long as I remember, I'm going to, pretty much make sure to do a live. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the content, if I'm going to be, looking at actual live footage or whatnot. Because again, if people happen to play music, that's a little bit problematic, things of that nature. But yeah, we're gonna sit up there and figure that directly. I want to see what's going to take place with that. Hack said, "Will you have a gaming stream this weekend?" Wait, what's today? Let me see. It's dang, today is Saturday. Today is Sunday. I'm not gonna make any promises, but I will say that I will try it out because there'll probably be a little bit of bumps and bruises and a little bit of errors, so it might not be the standard issue live stream that we normally do here. And we'll have a gaming live stream and do it that way. I'll figure out what game I'll sit up there. I could play Assassin's Creed. I'll just do it on my other account and start from the beginning on there and do it like that. But the way that I don't even know how I would actually like stream it, because it's like the way that I go about games, I don't technically follow the story. I tend to go outside of the story, and I'm going into I'm a level 5 going into level 32, 22, 15, areas. Because I normally like to try to search around and go for the teleportation spots so I can teleport around the map and do the things that I, want to do once I get the combat down and I learn how to, parry and do things like that. So yeah. So that, just put that directly out there. Was it Hayes said LOL? I remember classic. Hack said, all right. D said, cool, brother. I'm looking forward to it. Mo said, peace and love. Hack said, based. So yeah, that's what we will be doing. Because we got 33 Immortals, Monster Hunter. I have been playing Atom Falls, which is on Game Pass at this moment in time. The only issue with that is that it crashes every once in a while, and that's on console, so I can only imagine what it's doing directly on PC. So that's a little bit problematic because I've been getting into that game and wanting to go through the different areas and whatnot and find stuff because I like to explore. But yeah, we got those. Like I said, either which way we'll sit up there and do it. The hardest thing that will be to do is PC, because I'm both streaming on the same PC that I'll be playing the game directly on. So that would probably be a little bit problematic. But yeah, we got a lot of things basically coming up. So again, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and all people for being a part of the live stream. And again, I wouldn't be able to do the things that I do without people like you. And I will see you guys in the next live stream, which should be tomorrow. All right. Peace out.